I'm saving that for the honourable people who are not quite
Hey,
sure.
everybody.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hey, Victoria. Hey, Lewis. Hey, Jack. How's everyone doing this evening? Oh, I know what I'm doing.
Let me see. I need to share the stream right fast.
Yeah.
Let's see here. I'm having a brain fart. There we go. Wrong area.
I will be back. I forgot something. Galak, go away, love. Go on your bed. Good girl.
There we are. Okay. All right. We are. Hey, Dave.
Hey, Dave.
Hi, Dave.
Hey,
Hey,
Stefan.
Stefan.
Hi, Stefan.
Thank you, Victoria. Appreciate it.
How's everyone doing in the chat?
Let's see.
This evening we're joined by our special guest of Adam.
Hello, everyone.
Adam is one of the invert keepers at Bristol Zoo Gardens. So just like me, another zookeeper, absolutely mental as hell.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder where I get it from. I had a bad influence.
There's a few. There is Adam was my Padawan learner for a while. I corrupted
Back
him
in the day.
and turned him over to the dark side of inverts.
Hello, everybody.
I mean, I was on the path of fluffy mammals up until I met Phil.
Hi, Greg.
Hey, Princess.
Hi, Princess. Princess Richard.
Hey,
Hey,
Jordan.
Evening, Princess.
Hi, Jordan.
Hi, Jordan.
Yes, we are in the company of royalty. We have Princess
Hey,
Richard
Doug.
in the chat.
Hi, Doug.
Hi, Doug.
And if you don't know, Northern Exotics is in the chat. He is Princess Richard.
Oh, excellent. I remember that one. I was wondering when you were saying royalty. I was just like, hang on a minute. I need some explanation here.
Straight away, a question for you, Adam, which I don't know the answer of, but yeah, are you involved with Hogler in Gens?
Yes, we certainly are. So, yeah, we've got our breeding group at Bristol at the moment. So we've probably got around 60 Hogner at the moment. And we've got 2 expectant mums. So we should have some new babies any day now, which will be quite exciting. Absolutely lovely species. They're absolutely stunning.
Hey, JP.
Hey, JP.
Hi, JP.
Hello, JP.
Poor Richard.
Yeah, you're never going to lose that name, Richard. It's going to stuck. It's never going to happen. JP's asked about, where's the zoo moving to, or has you read that wrong?
Ah, well, I knew it would come up at some point. So yeah, so we're closing the zoo at the site of Bristol next year, late next year. We're moving out to our sister site at Wild Place. So it's just outside the city on the M4 on the Ring Road. So yeah, we're going to be moving out there, and the new site's going to be opening in 2024 as the shiny new Bristol Zoo. So it's going to be a lot of change over the next couple of years. We don't know any specific details yet. They're still working on plans and schedules and such, but it's all very exciting.
As in the Wild Place site's quite a big site as well.
Yeah, it's 124 acres, so it's a lot bigger than the site we've got at Bristol. So there's lots of options for us to do a huge amount of work out there. So it's really, really exciting, and it's a beautiful site with just so much ancient woodland and things like that. It's going to be absolutely lovely.
Yeah, absolutely. Alex was, is it true that I'm guessing the hoggler are being blocked from releasing them back into the wild?
So we're not releasing at this second in time. I'm not sure exactly what the reasoning is. Currently, they're busy doing the habitat restoration work out on the islands. So hopefully we'll be able to do some release work in the future. But currently they're focusing on the habitat restoration before, and then using us as a support population ready for then in the future. Hopefully we can look at releasing. But if the population itself increases with the support we're doing anyway, that's a win either way.
That's it, yeah. Because they're a fairly endangered species of spider.
Yes, they're critically endangered. So yeah, I think we said that originally it's about 4,000-ish left in the wild. But yeah, they're busy doing a lot of habitat work out there at the moment with the spiders. So hopefully that will then support the population anyway. And then we've got that backup in case something catastrophic happens.
That's it. And that, for a lot of people, that's really the idea of zoos anyway, is doing stuff like that and helping with things like that. Because with that species of hogna, which law spiders, for anyone who doesn't know, I think there was a species of grass that
so there was
their habitat.
Yeah, so it's an invasive grass that then was taking over a lot of the habitat and making the ground quite solid, so they couldn't dig their burrows. It was being coupled with the fact like goats and rabbits that were introduced were eating the native grasses and such, and that was allowing it all to spread more. And it just meant the spiders were slowly competing each other into extinction almost. So of course it's us coming in and causing shenanigans. But so far things are going hopefully in the right direction.
As AKAC Renee's got JP's asking, which both of us can probably explain. Actually, can explain the reason why zoos will not take on private exotic pets from private keepers, foxes, big cats, etc. A lot of the time, JP, it's disease risk. We don't really know the provenance of the animals. Depending on the animal, depends on how long you're quarantined it for, which for reptiles is 6 months minimum, potentially longer and stuff. There's a whole lot of legalities around it as well that we kind of have to go through in terms of taking on any kind of animal from a private keeper. It sometimes can happen, but it's few and far between for a EARSA zoo that is BALI approved, as well as a lot of red tape that goes into that.
It's also thinking of the space and the requirements where you can house that as well.
That's it. Conservation value as well goes into it too. So unfortunately, we can't just take anyone's animal that they either can't look after anymore or just don't want to keep anymore. We often can't take them on. So a lot of people think we can, but by most part, zoos can't.
There's only so much time in the day, and you've already got a lot of animals to look after. Yeah. So it's finding a balance between the two.
Was that AJ? Is anyone? Alex Morris, but thanks for that. It had a lot of rumours and stuff. It seemed that they were just really not wanting to put them back, but it sounds a lot more positive.
That's cute, Alex.
I don't know the finite details at the moment. I know there is some political discussion as well, but I think they're hoping that the habitat restoration work will be the main support method for now, and then hopefully we'll be able to supplement that with the spiders from captivity if they're needed. They say in an ideal world, if the population builds up anyway, then we've done our job. We've actually assisted with the reintroduction and build up of that species again. But I don't know an awful lot more at the moment. That's the guys above my head mostly dealing with that, or at least the intricacies of it.
That's it. Yeah. Desmond has asked, do you work with Chester Zoo on anything?
We work with we don't work as directly at the moment. We've got a couple of projects coming up with some other Madeiran species that we're working with Chester, that's still in its early stages. So yes, we are going to be doing some collaborative work with them, and we have done in the past. So it's nice for zoos to work together on these projects. It's good communication, good training for everyone. And then you've also then got lots of populations at different zoos. It's not all at one place, because we've been collaborating with them in London on the Partula program for years. So that's always been a big one since back in the 90s.
Yeah, that's in. A lot of them don't necessarily realise that, especially by ours and the ours zoos, like I work out and you work out, we're all working together.
Yeah, it's one big community. You're all sharing information, you're sharing resources as much as possible. And then, having these populations spread, because otherwise, if something happens to one, you don't want it to happen to others.
That's it, yeah. Jamie, do you guys do any work with the UK inverts like London Zoo does? They're breeding one of the UK's rarest spiders at the moment and releasing them back into the wild, getting their numbers back up.
So at the moment, the main one that we're doing native invert wise, it's not one that I'm directly involved with, but is the white-clawed crayfish. We've been doing a lot of work with them, looking at removing of signal crayfish, breeding and release, habitat surveying and things like that with them. But it's one thing where we're going forward, we're looking at doing a lot more work with native species, especially around our area, because it's something you can do a lot with. It's literally in our back garden. We've got all these endangered species that we could work with. So it's one that we're definitely looking to push further forward, but we're just busy drawing up plans at the moment. So there's lots of hopefully exciting little projects to come, but the crayfish is the main one we've been involved with for quite some time.
Yeah, so often the natives often can be quite hard, like simple to do often, but a hard one to do because they're not seen as sexy as the exotics.
It's so true. Like a lot of the species we're looking at and researching into at the moment, it's a lot of them are small and brown, and trying to get everyone excited about them can be really hard, despite some of them being found in only tiny little populations in the UK.
Yeah.
So you've got to find that balance between the two. You've got so many amazing tropical species as well that need assistance. So he's finding that balance between those two lots.
That's it.
So we are looking at more natives. We've done some work in the past with medicinal leeches. We've had New Forest cicada a long time ago. What other ones have we done native species-wise? The fen-raft spider. So we have done some native species work, but not as much recently.
That's it. And then sometimes it's not even necessarily us having them in the collections. We'll actually go out and do surveys and help out.
Yeah, surveying, habitat restoration, just finding out what's there.
So it's a bit like I've done it a little bit with the tansy beetles.
That's one that keeps popping up every time we start researching things. Tansy beetles pop up.
You're right, bro.
Hey, Peter.
Hello.
Scott asked about the. Did you see that question by Scott? DNA test for purity.
Let me just go up a bit. Scott's asked, do DNA tests to check purity of DNA before introducing into breeding programs?
It's one that we've done less with invertebrates, like the DNA testing, but it has been done like genetic mapping and such with mammals. It's not something I'm massively familiar with. I know we are looking at it with the wolf spiders, looking at the genetics of the spiders that we brought over, to see what kind of genetic variation we have, or if they are really similar. But it's still in its early stages at the moment. I don't think I've had any actual data back from that, as far as I know.
So something like that. It's kind of in terms of like things like Poecilotheria and stuff, where so many of them are critically endangered and stuff. Yeah, bred readily in captivity in the private trade, but really not so much in zoos.
Right.
But where potentially it could be stud books and breeding programs for them, but it's difficult to take them from the private sector potentially to make up a breeding program that would be viable as a conservation program. So, which I think sometimes confuses people when sometimes you'll get zoos say, "Oh, we're the first to breed X and X species." Actually, that's been bred for years in the private sector.
Yeah, it's first time in like publicly in zoo side of things.
Hi, Diana.
So
Hi, Diana.
this one's always one that gets asked actually every now and then about bringing in species that have wiped down the past. This one can be quite controversial amongst zookeepers.
It tends to split people.
It really does. It's a really good question, and in some ways there's no right answer.
The species being one.
It's always an interesting discussion because there's pros and cons to both sides of it and logistics as to what you can do, especially I think towards especially wolves, because of just the reality of having them here. It is a big animal. I know they've talked about lynx multiple times before, and I think that one always seems to get closer most times.
It gets close and then doesn't seem because they're found to do that in Thetford, in Thetford Forest. But that hasn't happened yet, not to my knowledge.
No, again, not to mine, but I mean, there might have been accidental releases, but not anything planned as far as I know.
Exactly. And you also got the argument of like, should we put resources into things like that, or put those resources into species that are going extinct now? Sort of thing.
Well, yeah, you've got a lot of other species here that are still here. It'd be lovely to reintroduce species that before, but we've got to look at logistical issues surrounding that. And then, as you say, is that resource better spent in other places? It's what we have to do all the time, is evaluating new species and going, is there anything you can do? Is it viable to do this? And then go, right, okay, yes, we can, or no, we can't.
Hi, Andy.
Andy. Yeah, it's literally the thing. So, there's only a limited amount of resources. Where do you put those resources? In things handy. And Scott's made a good point of wolves and lynx have been that long and we've built over most of the habitat. Where would you put them? And
I think that's one of the biggest things. Yeah, it's like you haven't got the habitat to put them back to, where there wouldn't also be that potential conflict.
Yeah.
Admittedly, when I was doing some reading before, they were saying that lynx were actually, after they were declared extinct, were still being found a long time after, so they can exist alongside humans. Reasonably secretively.
Lynx probably couldn't. You potentially never ever see them.
No, they don't want to be seen.
No, they're so elusive. I think there was someone who was studying lynx in Norway, I think, for 10 years. Knew they were there because he found tracks and evidence of them, but never actually saw one.
It sounds similar to some stories I've heard with a carpi in the Congo. They're so secretive. They don't go anywhere near anyone. Researchers that have worked with them for years and say never seen a wild one because they just clear out as soon as anyone goes anywhere near.
Yeah, exactly. It's always a difficult one. But in terms of what are the sort of inverts that you are mainly working with, other than the hogner and the partula, which is a genus of snail for people that don't know what a partula is?
Yeah, so we've got some of the big ones for us would be the partula, the hogner, as you said. We've got Lord Howe Island stick insects, which are quite cool stick insects from off the coast of Australia.
Aren't you?
We are the only place outside of Australia with them currently. It's literally us and Melbourne Zoo. So they look very similar to standard Uracantha, but they're shiny and black
They're shiny, giant, spiny stick insects. Who actually said?
Hi, JJ.
That was like much just taking a polisher to his giant, spiny stick insects.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, they're wonderful little guys, but they're not the most exciting to look at unless you know what you're looking at. So we've got them. We've got a lot of marine systems. So we've got shrimp, we've got coral, all that sort of things. We've got loads of stick insects. So we've got giant Vietnamese stick insects. We've got Malaysian leaf katydids. We've got 4 different species of beetles. Many red-leg millipedes. Nephila, orb weavers. Yeah, we've got about 2,500 at the moment, so just a small amount of millipedes. We look after a massive range of different inverts. I think we've got somewhere around 80 species at the last time I counted in our collection. So we've got a decent amount.
Yeah, Victoria's like, woo, coral.
The coral is actually one of the bits I found most fascinating because I'd never worked with it before coming to Bristol. And yeah, I absolutely love the coral, and we've actually even got some fish now on section. So we're cheating a bit and having some ectotherms at least. But getting headbutted by a clownfish is a really fun way of doing a water change.
Are you now in competition with the aquarium?
Well, most of the saltwater stuff's come up with us. So the aquarium's freshwater, and we've got all the saltwater.
Oh, okay.
So a little bit.
Taking on across at their own game.
I know, we're trying. I still love the cleaner shrimp. I sit there with my hand in the tank, let them clean my fingers. Everyone thinks I'm really weird when I'm having a chat with someone behind there and I've just got my hand in the tank. They're like, what the heck are you doing? I'm being cleaned. They're absolutely amazing.
That's fantastic.
So no, we've got a right little range, and we've got butterflies as well, which is the other lovely bit. The butterfly house is amazing. Finally got moths back in this week, so I'm so happy.
Oh, nice. What species?
Rothschilds.
Oh, nice.
Absolutely lovely. I want to get the Atticus Atlas back again at some point, but love to see if that fits in. It takes so long. We've had like 2 since I got there. We had a beautiful big male hatch out, and he was absolutely stunning.
Yeah, I bet. So, do you keep anything private at the moment?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've still got a fair bit. Much less than I used to have. So I've still got the death feigning beetles. I've got Asian forest scorpion. I've got my clays. So I've got my red rump, my vegans, curly hair, stromatophelma. I've got the ugandensis still. Got a little not so little now, regalis. So, and then a load of giant African land snails. And the death feigning beetles. I can't remember if I said them. They're like the favourite bit. Yeah, a little collection. I mean, I used to have a huge amount more back in the day before moving to Bristol.
Yeah. Back when I was your bad influence.
Yeah, my mum still blames you. I do miss my bug room. It was literally as big as my entire flat is now.
That's it. So, do you have larvae of your death feigners at the moment?
I've got loads of larvae. I managed to get one to pupate and go about a month, but then I haven't had any come through to adult yet.
Pupate? What a
So
word.
I get closer every time.
I've got 2 larvae at the moment.
Excellent.
I picked out.
I wonder when
How big?
What?
Sorry, Ellie?
I said, I wonder when I'll grow my wings.
When are you going to pupate?
We had a discussion at work today about whether tortoises are actually a larval stage, and one day they just hatch out and they're actually a butterfly. It was like how amazing giant tortoise flying would be, and also terrifying.
Yes, especially an Aldabra.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, still got Aldabras there.
Yes, we still got the Aldabs. I really enjoy doing bits and pieces with them. Helen is just adorable. She comes and stands on your foot, and she's like, "You're not leaving until you've given me cuddles." And I'm just like, "I can't shift you. You weigh nearly as much as I do." So, no, they're awesome.
So, apparently, I'm always a bad influence.
Victoria.
Thanks, Victoria.
Oh, that's from Victoria, I see.
We were all completely innocent until we met Phil.
And so it begins.
It's the other way around, to be fair.
Right?
Either that or he just put his front on. The curtain slowly came down.
I don't think Phil's a bad influence. He just gets blamed for everything.
That's it. I just get blamed all the time.
He enabled me to go down the rabbit hole, but I'm not complaining at all. I just remember coming back from the first show up at Doncaster with my Ugandensis, and then it all just spiraled from there.
That's it.
It's now having 3 tanks of them here. And then having them again at work, which is just even better. I love it, just having a mixture of just beetles absolutely everywhere. We've got our big beetle display. There's about 300 beetles in it at the moment.
Nice.
Yeah.
So it's just cool.
Is that still
I'd happily live in that display.
Is that still mixed species beetles?
Yeah, so we still got the purple jewels, the Aracatina Marginata, the Udicellas, Pacnodas, and then we did have the Ugandensis up until recently, but they've come home with me now. So we only had a few left. We were just said, I'd take them home with me.
Nice.
So they're still keeping us busy, still flying into my face most days. It's like, oh, morning, guys, bang, right in the middle of the head.
Yeah, that hurts too. There's some of those big beetles just.
I have had the Ugandensis do that, and yeah, they got a bit of weight behind him.
Yeah.
I'm glad it wasn't a male. He might have got stuck in there.
And they can be surprisingly good flyers.
Yeah, I still remember the day when we were doing the filming in Hidden Treasures with Stephen Cameron.
With ITV and suddenly just chasing a beetle around the place while I was doing a news interview.
Yeah, I just remember me and Steve looking at each other and going, "It's gonna fly, it's gonna fly," and then just away goes the beetle.
Straight at the camera lady / interviewer.
Yeah,
And just screaming. There's all them running around the Hidden Treasures building trying to catch this beetle.
I mean, it made great television.
Yeah, but it didn't because it didn't see anything.
That's true. It was very entertaining for us.
All that going on whilst maintenance were installing lights into Vivs.
It's always the way.
Literally opening the building that day within like 10 minutes and still installing lights.
I just remember chucking the jungle nymphs in and then just running out the front of the house and then running around the back of the crowd, just like, right, we're all good to go.
Yeah, then me telling you to go run back and put the scorpions on display because I forgot to put them on display.
Yeah.
I was like, quick, get the scorpions on display literally seconds before we open the building.
I remember those days.
Everywhere is the same.
Yeah, the guys tell me stories of here back in '94 or something when Bugs initially opened. Like you could see they were doing like the grand opening, and you could hear people like still hammering things down behind them. Just quickly get the last bits in before it opens.
That's it.
But it's always organisation, especially with zoos.
Yep, absolutely. So, what's your favourite one to work with?
That's what I was going
To work with. That's a tough one. Because I think I've always had a soft spot for the beetles. And I think like the ones I've got here, the Blue Death Feightings, just shoot it out of the park. I just find them absolutely amazing. Just they're so active and they're just weirdos. Like you open the door and poke one and they just go, eh. That sounds really bad, but I'm just like, it's just adorable. It's the easiest way to catch them. I'm trying to think the ones I actually work with. Oh, that's a hard choice. That is a really hard choice. I have to admit, over the last few years, I've been getting more and more fond of snails. And actually, the little Enid snails we've got, I know Phil's got them at Shepwood as well. They're absolutely adorable. And I've got really, really fond of them. Like, they're only a small snail, but they're just so delicate and just sit there tootling around. I had a colony of about 180, and they look absolutely amazing. Sometimes holding their little foot up like they're going, just like... No, they're absolutely brilliant. I'm sort of torn between snails and beetles now as to which group's my favourite. I mean, I had about 21 species of beetle at one point a few years ago. So I went hard down the beetle line, and then now I seem to have reverted back and gone slightly more down the snail line.
No, that's cool. No, Enid cells are fantastic little things.
They are. I've got so many that I really enjoy, though. Like the wolf spiders are absolutely amazing. There's the one that everyone always thinks, it's the wolf spiders. They're going to be the coolest. But it's like, actually, I like the small brown snail, who I just think is adorable. And then, yeah, when we had the Ugandensis and such, they're up there as well. I just keep thinking of others, and I'm like, oh, but they're awesome as well. Oh,
But as you know, you got a fairly decent collection down there, and you got some stuff that I'm jealous of.
yeah, we're really lucky with what we've got here. We've got a massive space and a lot of resources to do, so it's lovely to be able to show people this amazing range of animals. And it's always lovely when you hear people coming through and actually excited about seeing them. But it's just cool.
Yeah, that's it. And I think in the UK, not many zoos have an invert collection.
Yeah, that's the thing, having something that's dedicated, not just having like a couple of things because you need to have some inverts. Actually having dedicated space to go, this is the amazing thing that is the invert world.
Yeah.
Because I even like that's the other one actually. We've got golden weaver ants, and as much as they try and bite me, they're still they're still up there with one of the favourite ones. Making like a big bivouac of them, and then just seeing them all charging round, and just seeing people either go, "Oh my god, that's horrible," or "Oh my god, that's amazing." They seem to be really polarising.
Jim's asking, what's the worst animal you've worked with at a zoo?
Oh, I'd have to say it's almost likely to be the weaver ants, because they're both one of the best and one of the worst, because they bite you and spray formic acid in your wound just to say, right, here you go, love you, but then also they're absolutely amazing at the same time. But then spending hours searching through millipede substrate also great slowly chews into your brain.
Yeah.
Yeah, and counting them.
And counting them, yeah. It took us 5 days to do the last count. So that was more monotonous. I love the animals, but they take so long to do. But no, I do love the weaver ants. I wouldn't say any of them particularly I don't enjoy working with. Some of them I find just say slightly more infuriating than others. But I do love them all in the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, my ats are annoying me at the moment.
I feel like any animal that's going to be annoying you, ants is always going to be high up there, just because they want to mess with your day.
Yeah, they're just not doing what you want them to do.
Yeah, I find that with the weavers. Someday they're like, "Yeah, we filled our entire water bowl with dead ants. What are you going to do about it?" Fine. What are you going to do today? Oh, you've decided you're going to just do a site like a spy movie drop and make a little rope out of your enclosure. Okay, I see where this is going today. But then other days they're like, "Hello." I'm just like, "Oh, I love you," and it's so good. I love them so much.
Do you still work on other sections, or I know sometimes you help out on the other sections, but I know you mainly inverts.
Yeah, so I'm full-time on bugs now, but I do help out on our reptiles and education at the moment, and then I have helped out on the mammals as well, but I have not dabbled with the mammals for a long time. So yeah, still predominantly on bugs. I do enjoy going over onto reptiles. They do often make me do the katydids though, so it's still going over there to do bugs.
Just going over there to do the bugs.
But then I do get tortoise cuddle, so pros and cons.
Pros and cons.
And they have got some nice things down there, so I do really like the giant tortoises. They're good fun.
Yeah.
How long have you been there now? It's been a few years, hasn't it?
4 years, 3 months, just about. It's how the time has flown. Like it's nearly been 5 years since I moved away. It feels like it's only been 5 minutes. I definitely need to come back to Shepworth again. I haven't been back in a long time with all this COVID shenanigans.
Well, this is it. It kind of puts everything up in the air, really, about everything.
It has, even with coming home.
Bill, quick question. Do you reckon pets at home would do the metal clips, for the UV bulbs, the big ones?
Ooh, they might.
I don't know if they'll do the clips. I know they do the units.
No, because my snake decided to break the clips that hold the UV bulb on.
Then you could try, or you could try places like online reptile shop, internet reptile.
Yeah, I know, but if they had it in pets at home, I could grab it quickly tomorrow instead of waiting for delivery.
I mean, it's worth a look.
I mean, there's still one clip holding it up at the moment.
Hi, Michael.
Hey, Michael.
Hey, Michael.
It's worth a look, but yeah, I don't know whether they would.
Okay. If they don't, then I'll just drive to the reptile store, no problem. But pets at home is closer.
It's worth a go.
No worries. Thank you. Continue.
Greg had a question right there.
Did I miss a question?
Hi, Leah.
Hey, Leah.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. There we go.
Is there an animal you were? Ooh. Now that's another thinker. I don't know. I have to have a think. Have you got any, Phil?
Komodo dragon.
Oh, that's a very good call, actually. I do like that.
Hey, LJ.
Hi, LJ.
Ooh.
LJ. Yeah.
This is getting my brain thinking now.
What are we thinking about? Is there an animal you don't work
So
with?
yeah.
Mine would be a blue tongue or a pink tongue skink. And if I can't have one of them, then it would have to be a hedgehog.
Hedgehog.
I have to admit, one of the coolest inverts that I've seen that I would love, and they're not in captivity, but the yellow spiny woodlouse.
Oh yeah.
They would be epic.
Oh.
Because it's like, just take woodlouse, amazing anyway, cover it in your spikiness, it's just cool. So I think if that was like, as far as one that would just be completely out there, that I
Back in a minute. I'm just going to take this call with my son.
Okay.
No worries.
No worries, right. So,
But yeah, that would be one actually that would be very cool to work with. So I know they're not a captive, but that would be very cool.
I mean,
yellow spiny woodlouse.
seeing their habitat, I doubt we'd ever be able to keep them in captivity.
No, we've discussed it in the past, but it's not really possible. But they're such cool looking animals.
Oh, they are neat.
They're proper weird. I mean, I love woodlice anyway. I would love to get them at work. It's one tax we don't really have represented, but it would be very, very cool.
They are.
Look at that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That kind of looks like a caterpillar.
I
Does a
know.
little bit, yeah.
But yeah, if I remember correct, because who was it? Amy, who went and studied them on St. Helena, done the presentation of them, didn't she? It's big.
Yeah, I remember that. It was a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, more than that now.
Was that Whipsnade or was that the one before Whipsnade?
I think it was before Whipsnade, because I don't remember them doing a talk at Whipsnade about that. So it might have been Ask and Brian.
Was it Arsenal? Or would have been Longleat?
Longleat was the before Ask him, I think.
Yeah. It was one of them.
I'm struggling to remember, so it might have been Longleat, because I wasn't there every day for that one.
I know we had a presentation on the yellow spiky woodlouse, because you'd not long come back from St. Helena. Studied them. They're fairly montane and fairly arboreal.
I just think they make a very cool display. Like if you had a nice sort of planted up tree display and just have little woodlice tootling up and down, it would look amazing.
And it's that thing of like, you would need a huge enclosure, probably. It would cost quite a few thousand to do it, probably.
And then getting them over and then the care as well.
Yeah,
That's like, let's say, very out there thought.
Yeah, it's almost like our walk-through snail enclosure that we designed.
Yeah, I mean, the walk-through snail enclosure was going to be a win. I mean, we've discussed walk-through scolopendra enclosures before at some point. So, I mean, we've gone down some weird tangents.
Sorry about that.
Where
Okay,
is
Mark.
it says endemic to St. Helena's Happy. I don't even have a clue where that is.
Oh,
Welcome back, Stefan.
There's woodlouse. They're endemic to there. I don't know where that is. I have to look it up. St. Helena's Happy.
so I know it's St. Helena, but I'm trying to remember where in the world that is.
Is it near Argentina?
See, St. Helena's Happy.
British Overseas Territory, South Atlantic Ocean.
Phil got there before me.
Yeah, me too.
Technically, they're British because we own it.
Oh, okay. What? You like the skeleton isopods? Yeah, they're neat looking, Michael.
They're kind of right in the middle of the South Atlantic Ocean. It's basically halfway between like South Africa and Paraguay, Uruguay.
Oh, okay.
But it's basically on the map where it says South Atlantic Ocean. That's basically where it is. Tiny little island.
Everything really, really unusual is from a tiny little island somewhere
Yeah.
completely in the middle of nowhere.
We're in the middle of an ocean that's nowhere near any other big land mass at all.
It's like the partula, the little snails. It's like, cool, on French Polynesia, literally in the middle of the ocean between Australia and the States. It's like, okay, just make it out completely out of the way.
Okay, Scott, hurry back.
Leah's asked this, Adam.
Hello. Oh, so yeah, it is very competitive industry to get into. I say I was very lucky. I started off back at Shepworth with Phil.
He's very lucky he knows me.
I mean, I wouldn't say definitely, but yes, no, it is true. So yeah, I started off back in with working with Phil, and then I was very lucky. My second job in this industry was at Bristol working with the bugs. It is very competitive. There's always a lot of people going for these positions, but I was lucky I had the experience working with the inverts, working with Phil, and already knew a lot of people in the community as well. Had a lot of experience with a lot of different animals, and that helped me get the position that I have now. It was originally a part-time position, so I did take a bit of a risk coming over here, but it quickly became full-time with working on other sections and things like that. So I'm very lucky and with the fact that I've managed to get to here, and massively grateful to everyone that's helped me do that. And it's a job I absolutely love. So very, very lucky.
And I think in this industry, half the time it's who you know as well as what you know.
It does help. So you've got that initial impression, understanding of who people are. Like especially amongst zoos, it's a very small community.
Yeah.
There's not many people that do this sort of work, so you do get to know pretty much everyone else in the country that does it, which is absolutely brilliant because you can share information really easily and get to know people really well. It is lovely.
I'm even drinking the beer that your boss sent me.
Is that what Mark brewed himself, or?
No, I don't. It's from the Bristol Beer Factory.
Ah, okay.
He posted me. He got a keg posted to me.
As you do.
Some friends of his came to the park, so we gave him some experiences. So he sent me a keg of beer, or a mini keg of beer.
Nice.
That sounds like Mark. I work at Sheffield Wildlife Park near Cambridge, and Adam worked here for a bit with me. Yeah, so I was there for, I think, through volunteering and internships and working for about 5 years in total.
Yeah.
Wow.
So he started off as a volunteer, and then he came back to us on and off as a volunteer when he was at uni, and then he done a year placement with us.
Yeah.
Where we essentially trained him up as a keeper and trusted him with keys, and then became a cover keeper. He became my cover keeper.
Mm-hmm.
The cover
I slowly wheedled my way in.
stuff, and then we booted you off to Bristol.
Yeah, no, I got kicked out and went to Bristol.
So,
The stars aligned.
And then I just had your boss Mark asking me what we'd done to you because we'd broken you.
No, it's all good. It's all part of it.
So are you telling me you still have a bare house, no inverts?
What?
I'm asking if Andy has a bare house with no inverts.
Have we?
Andy has a beer house with no inverts. What?
Andy, do you have inverts at home, not at work?
Who talked to Adam?
Oh, me?
Yes, Adam.
Sorry. I was really confused. I was like, admittedly, I've not been called Andy in a long time. that was a Shepard one as well. Yeah, so I have inverts at home as well as at work.
Oh, okay then.
So yeah, I've got lots at work to keep me busy, and then I've got still a wall of inverts here.
Sorry, I'm trying to keep up with everything and trying to keep up with the chat, and then there's lots of things going on. Mark just messaged because he's got something serious going on at home at the moment. And then I just had a message from the job centre not how long ago saying, I need to go job centre tomorrow at 9:40. Like, what? Since when? So it's like I'm trying to arrange everything in the middle of the stream because it's just come up.
It confused me as well.
But I'm so sorry, Adam.
That's absolutely fine. Believe me, when I was back at Shepworth, they used to get me because we've got another keeper called Andy, and then so I would get called Andy all the time.
But at least you got the first letter correct.
I mean, that's true. I should have put two and two together. I wasn't sure if you were meaning someone in the chat or not.
Well, your point meant Andy has spider spice all night. He does keep inverts.
Ellie's brain's working.
Oh, that's really nice to hear. Igniting my love. Aww. So Wendy was quite time, but it's lovely seeing, like, we hear stories about Wendy all the time and from the keepers that used to work with her. And like the history of the zoo is amazing, like there's stories and such that have come through. And I mean, we're 185 this year, so it's a very old zoo.
It's one of the oldest in the world, isn't it?
I can't remember now. I learnt this during DIMSA. I want to say it was either fourth or fifth oldest on the planet.
It's something like that. I think it's fifth. Like fifth oldest in the world, something like that.
Yeah, so really, really lucky to be involved with it.
Which is quite a feat, really, when you think about it.
Yeah, it's so like we've got pictures throughout Bug World of like all going back through the years, and it's really interesting to see how it all is, or how it all was back in the day.
What are you doing?
Wait, do you have any other questions for Adam?
Yeah.
Are we going to see him again?
I'm sure at some point.
I mean, if you'll have me back, I'm always happy to talk about bugs, to be honest.
Okay.
I always say this.
For Adam, not Andy, Adam.
I'll just check. I'll go on and change my name.
Are you as spunky as Phil? Are we going to have a real good time with you guys together?
I hope so, yeah.
You'll fit right in.
Excellent. That's what I like to hear.
You haven't seen me and Adam in a pub at a conference getting drunk, the recolouring.
But I'm sure you're not as bad as Scott, let's be fair.
Well, there's been Scotch egging incidents involving me and Phil as well.
Yeah, that was like 5 years ago as well. Mental.
That was a long time ago. It came up on Facebook recently. I do miss those days. It was always such good fun.
What do you want?
Yeah, me and Adam got to get the flat I live in now. Well, another ex-colleague of ours lived up here at the time, and me and Adam got together and hid Scotch eggs and savoury eggs all around the flat, and a life-size cardboard cutout of Ainsley Harriott standing in the bathroom with a sock on his head.
I need to find where Ainsley is actually and take him
And,
down to freak Alex out again.
So that was probably one of the best radio calls we've ever had at a lunchtime.
It was really good fun.
Came to me too slow. It went
Oh, definitely. Yeah. If you drop us a message when people are coming, I'm more than happy to come and say hello.
Yeah, but will you
Always happy to talk to people that are wanting to talk about bugs.
See, we've been doing it all wrong. There's some YouTubers that goes to Phil's zoo that does it right. They charge the zoo to visit. I need to do that. I would not have a problem with visiting. But at the moment, I don't go to zoos because of affordability. Them things are expensive.
It's true.
But if they pay me to go, no problem. That means I get free.
Takes a lot of money to keep up with all those animals, though. It's worth it.
It does.
If they actually think they get away with it.
That's something that sometimes actually people sometimes don't understand. Like, I mean, we're a small zoo. We're much smaller than what Bristol. Actually, well, in terms of ground space, we're actually a similar size. But
yeah, Bristol's 11 acres, so we're actually not far off the same size. Yeah, geographically.
But your cost would be a lot more than ours. I know during lockdown or whatever, when it was completely shut, it was best to tell us that on average open day, it costs us around £3,000 to be open, to run the park for a day.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm not doubting where it goes, Leah. He's just getting the money to go. That's the issue.
Yeah, the big zoo about 30 minutes from where we live is like one of the biggest in the area. It's 2,600 acres. It literally takes you all day to get through it. Like all
See,
day.
compared to us, it's just like we're so tiny geographically in comparison to that. So I think is it the tiger enclosure at Woburn is nearly as big as our entire site.
There's a place for the smaller zoos as well, because we don't always have a whole day to commit. You want to spend a couple hours with your family, then that's perfect.
I mean, yeah, they're two separate entities. Like the big zoos can do all the big stuff really well.
Mm-hmm.
The little zoos can concentrate more on the smaller things.
Yeah.
And the really unusual things. It's like a lot of the smaller zoos I visited have had some of the more interesting species because it's the weird and the wonderful. And I mean, that's not just because, say, interested in the smaller animals anyway. Still enjoy seeing the bigger things, but it's always exciting getting to see something you've never seen before.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Like, there are people that come here and they've never seen something like a genet before, and we've got two genets. What's that
Sorry.
noise?
Amber alert.
All right.
Perhaps it sounds like sirens going off. And I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, that goes off of when there's a child abduction or a senior citizen missing.
If I get abducted, would you come looking for me?
Me? Yes, I will. I will fly my butt over there and I will come find you.
I'll see you, Dave.
Oh, bye, Dave.
Yeah, Dave.
Hey, thanks for coming back, bud.
Get up early to go and man those doors. So, yeah, you miss out on the Eastern Invert show. T-Reps, this is Dave. A load of people thought he was the doorman, which he wasn't. Just in the queue.
Poor Dave.
Waiting to get in, and everyone kept asking him, "Oh, can I go to the toilet and stuff?" and thinking he was the doorman.
Oh dear.
I'm just in the queue.
Must have that sort of authority figure feel of like someone that they can trust to ask these questions.
I might as well. Last year he went to was London, and the chimps were going mental.
I always wanted to go to Monkey World.
I'm banned from Monkey World.
I've been to Bristol Zoo a few times.
Oh, actually, I think I know about this.
But I've not been to Monkey World.
I got kicked out.
How'd you get kicked out of Monkey World?
I went with college. We all got kicked out and banned because we asked questions.
Oh. But isn't that what you're supposed to do? How are you going to learn if you don't ask questions?
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
We were there as part of our college course, and we're doing like a Southwest kind of animal collection tour. So
I know what it was. She wasn't just asking questions. Was she? You was on one of them naughty days of yours where you was just being the class clown and asking silly questions. When did they last meet? How do they meet?
So like yeah, we was like comparing different ones. Like we went to Paynton Zoo, Living Coasts, Cricket and Thomas Wildlife Park, Longleat, and Monkey World. So they're all 5 very different animal collections, and they do was covering them what the course was, and we just asked them about like quarantine procedures, enrichment, all this other, and they just went, "You're asking too many questions. Can you please leave?" Basically, Monkey World, don't give them time of day. Terrible place. That's an awful place. Any tips for breeding? Oh.
Tips for breeding mantis?
No, that's not. I have to admit, breeding mantis isn't one of my expertise. I've not actually done it myself.
Stick them in a container for a female, for a male. Make sure they're fed. They usually do the deeds by themselves.
I've never bred that species, but yeah, as long as if the female's fed, well fed, and receptive, and you got an adult pair, yeah, put them together and try it. Males can mate after decapitation.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
some of them, they get eaten while they're mating, and they're still mating even after all their heads.
They can even start mating after death.
That's crazy. Oh, man.
It's dedication to the cause.
Yeah.
For real.
On David Attenborough DVD, Micro Monsters, Martin French.
Oh, I remember that one.
And it's in like the making of it or whatever. And they're there, studio, so all these studio lights and stuff. Can't remember what species of mantis it was. It's been a while since I watched that DVD.
Oh no, Leah.
Martin French is Bugs UK, one of the main suppliers in the UK. The female with this log. And it was like, I'm not sure if it's going to do, if it's going to be successful. It's hot lights, it's this, that, the other. Da, 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 da. Sure enough, yeah, she ended up decapitating the male and stuff before anything happened. Then he just like, well, let's just try and put the male on top of her, and he just started mating. It was completely dead, but it was a successful mating. Okay.
Even I actually keep bugs and keep mantises and stuff like that. I used to have a thing for watching like all these animals and how they reproduce and stuff like that because they're weird. Like they're so weird. Like snails, pure ugly until you watch them breed. And then they're vicious at each other. They're like stab.
Nothing better than love harpoons.
And slugs, these funky little like flower things, like those little like. I watched them all. I used to watch bug porn. Okay, bug porn.
Ellie has a bug porn problem. At least she talked about it. It's all good.
First step is admission.
At least it's bug porn and not Pornhub.
You know, this kind of porn is the only porn you don't need an age rating to actually watch on YouTube. You can even watch it on kids' channels. It's part of a natural balance, you know.
So it really depends on the species, on whether they're. Some of them are fairly hardy.
I'll be back in a second. 1 minute.
Okay.
Yes, as Phil says, some of them are really hardy, aren't they? But others are a bit more pedantic. Like there's always the orchid mantis that seem to be a little bit more pedantic about how they like things. But
Yeah, that's it. I know, as with same with things, probably the cheaper the mantis, the more hardy it is.
yeah, it's things like the desiccata, the deadleaf mantis, and things like that, and the ghost mantis I've had in the past, and they've always been really sturdy.
Yeah, they're fairly good. Like African lions as well. Soldier mantis. That's always
Yeah, I think they're a really good starting point for mantids.
I had, is it giant green mantis?
Mhm.
They grow quite big.
That was the first one I think I got off Graham Smith, was a giant green mantis.
Yeah,
Miss
I think
Graham.
they're tough cookies.
Yeah. Did you see what Michael wrote?
Which one? Which about
The chimps.
the that one.
Hi, Callum.
I was like, oh my. Hey, Happy.
Hey, Adam, you missed the chat about ants.
Yes, you missed that.
This is late for Callum, and it's normally past his bedtime.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Oh, I do love me some ants. They're good fun. They just always make the day interesting.
There you go. What? So you can make Happy Ant UK Callum jealous now by telling him what species of ant you work with.
Well, we've got the acromyrmex, the leaf cutters. I mean, they're pretty exciting. But probably the golden weaver ants probably will be the higher up one, I'm imagining. Is the one you're hinting at.
Yeah.
Yeah, the golden weavers are absolutely awesome. Yeah, end up making a mess of things quite regularly. They like causing shenanigans, but they're absolutely brilliant.
I mean, you'll probably be quite jealous by the acromyrmex as well.
Yeah, the acromyrmex are brilliant. Yeah, I mean, as far as like comparing them to Atta, I really love the acromyrmex.
Is that one in the movie, Michael?
So yeah, that should be fairly hardy.
Yeah, Sphodromantis, that was where I started, I think.
Yeah, as a genus, Sphodromantis, they're fairly good. Makes that known science. Is that bullet ant or is there one bigger?
I think bullet ant jumped straight into my brain as being the largest, but I'm not actually sure.
That's one that comes to my head would be bullet. Happy might know. But there's some massive bull ants, which there's some massive bulls. I say like bullet ant queens are huge.
I remember it was up at the Midlands Entomological Fair. Ants.
Yeah, there was 2 years ago a whole load of bullet ant queens for sale.
Mm-hmm.
It was like what? Bullet ants.
Hello, before the kittens are ready to go.
It's half of November, 18th.
We're on Michael's
That's a good one, Michael.
He's crazy.
I like that one.
We've been corrected.
So let's have a look. I know.
Google it. It's
Dinophanera.
I haven't heard of that.
Recognise the scientific name on that one.
Didn't Cody get stung by a bullet ant? I think Cody Peterson did.
He's been stung by everything, hasn't he? Bitten by everything.
Yeah.
And I was it Justin Smith? He's done the Schmidt pain scale. I think rated bullet ant as the worst insect sting.
Yeah. We watched the whole thing. That was insane.
Say for science, it's interesting to go through that, but I've been stung by various things and would not fancy going higher than that.
No. The description of a bullet ant sting is something I don't want to experience.
Was that just the description?
Of like what it's meant to feel like.
Just no.
It's just like no.
Do they ever sting you then? Or do they just bite you?
What bullet ants?
Yeah.
They sting you.
Mm-hmm.
From their backside?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's described as feeling like you've been shot.
I don't
Which is
like
why
ants anyway, but thanks for
Why it's
pointing
called a bullet ant.
I mean, most other ants aren't as painful as that, but I mean, the bullet ant's particularly bad.
Listen, right, when you get bitten by loads and loads of ants in the middle of Kenya, the last thing you want to do is keep any kind of ant within any kind of mile.
Hi, Russell.
Hey, Russell.
Yeah, I'm just like,
who
Greg.
accidentally sat on a bullet ant.
oh, that's not going to be pleasant.
No. Yeah. It was in, like Central America or whatever, and sat on one. And he couldn't sit down for a few weeks afterwards.
Yeah, I would not that would not be comfortable at all.
Good night, Greg. Thanks for coming by.
Oh, bye, Greg.
I'll see you, Greg.
It's just weird how it's the smallest of things that causes the most trouble.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely find that on a daily basis. So the ants, they are probably one of the smallest, but yeah, they do like causing shenanigans. Oh, actually, we're going to break out today and go and steal leaf litter from the beetle display because we don't want the leaf litter that's in here. Okay, fine.
Of
Ellie,
course.
when you were in Africa, were they little ants or the big ants that were over there?
They were fucker ants, that's for sure.
Hi, Kurtwood.
I probably if I know the species, I could
How are
probably
you?
tell you what they are.
Yeah.
But I don't know how many different ants they got in Africa. I just knew they were fuckers.
Yeah.
I
And
wouldn't want to get bit by
all
anything.
I did, right? Because I
Sure
didn't even realize until someone said, "You just stood in a path of ants." Because you know when they make their trails,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you're supposed to avoid that completely.
Yeah.
I was covered in them.
Oh gosh.
I wouldn't fancy that. I remember treading in a termite mound when I was in South Africa, and that was bad enough.
No, I don't want to get bitten by no insects.
I wasn't in their territory. They came to my territory. It's their fault, not my fault. And I never built the path either, so you can't blame me for taking their land. I didn't do it. I was just there. I paid to get in there to visit.
Just wanted a night with Otello.
You know what? It's because I was the only white in the village. That's what it was.
I've been bit by 2 spiders. That was bad enough.
Touch wood, I haven't managed to get tagged by a spider yet.
Yeah, don't want to.
No, I don't want to. I've had some close calls with pokies and things like that, but fortunately not had anything yet.
Oh yeah, that great Metallica mating, didn't you? Like a couple of years ago, or whatever. That was just completely shocked you and Mark of how it happened.
Yeah, no, we've tried a couple of times with Metallica. Sadly, we haven't had any viable eggs so far. Yeah, we had the first time. The female couldn't figure out how to get out of the burrow, so the male went in with her, mated with her, came out, went straight back in his own tank, and we were both there like, "What? Hang on a minute." what happened here? And then we tried another male with her a year or so later, and apparently he found the perfect wooing technique. What you do is you go in and then you fall on the female, and that's a good way of getting the ball rolling. So he literally fell on her. She turned around, gave her a little wiggle, and we both were there like, oh, thank God for that. It was the smoothness of the face plant onto her. It was amazing.
Oh, geez.
Like, poor little man, he tried so hard.
I got bit by a Andy and also by a green femur.
Oof.
ABT.
They got bitten by an ABT. Ooh.
Gosh, my
Ooh. I can't. I mean, it's living up to its name there.
Yeah. Yeah. The only spider I've been bitten by is a jumping spider.
Oh, that's more of a kiss than anything else.
A little Hylas yardi.
I love the little jumping spiders. That's one that I haven't had for ages. And I really, really love him.
The postman wouldn't even get to the letterbox. I'll trip him up while he's outside.
Mark wants nothing to do with centipedes. He doesn't want to own any.
I'm sure we can arrange
Give him a
that.
hard time.
They like observing centipedes.
Yes, Andy.
Cold blue as well. Yeah. Give out plenty of juice. But OBTs do give out plenty of juice.
Oh, I have a cricket going now.
What did I say?
What?
No, I don't, Michael.
I don't know. I'm confused on that one.
What did I say?
So what passing comment?
Please elaborate, Andy.
Yeah.
I know he's just making fun, which is all good.
I have to admit, I like observing centipedes. Doing anything with them is the more scary part.
Oh, yeah.
Do you still have any at Bristol, or did you? I know you.
No, our one went down to Steve at Venom Tech.
Oh.
He was. They're not the best display species. You didn't see much of them, so he thought he'd be better off down there with them, where they've got good facilities for him, and he's contributing to the research they're doing. So he went down there.
Man, that's what he saw. I didn't know he'd been bitten by a jumping spider.
Yeah, Ben had.
Really confused me. I was like,
Oh, I love the jumping spiders. I just remember coming home to having an egg sac that had hatched and just finding baby jumping spiders all over my ceiling, and then just going, "Oh, come on, really?"
I remember you, telling me about that, and I had the same thing as well when I read jumping spiders. I was like,
Yeah, I just remember I had to leave. I think to drive home at like 4 that morning, and at this point it was like 9 o'clock at night. So I spent the next like 4 hours potting up baby jumping spiders, and then got like an hour's sleep, and then drove across the country. It was not ideal. Little troublemakers.
I got my first pee last week. It's still alive, and so am I. Good job, Andy.
You're all right, Victoria. If you get bit, you'll survive.
Yeah, so the species you've got don't tend to bite at all. Mine was a different species.
You're good, Victoria. Don't worry.
And mine was pure. It was a Hylas, so that was the eyelash jumper, whatever Spider Shop called it. It was true because I was doing maintenance and it jumped out and went over there, so I just grabbed it.
Yeah.
And so I scared it. So yeah, it stuck its fangs into me.
That's the time a lot of that does happen, because everyone asks us about like the wolf spiders and the Metallica, things like that. But going to bite is like the last resort, really. Like, I've not like they prefer to run away more than anything.
Yeah, that's it.
And it's those situations that if you do grab them.
Yeah, exactly. And it bit me because I scared it.
Mm-hmm.
Suddenly, I was grabbing it with my hand because I was just all like, "Oh no, I'm going to lose this otherwise." So,
You're one of those things that you find 2 months later, and it's got really fat 'cause it's eating all the random crickets that are running around in your room.
I'll be right back. I'm going to grab a drink. Excuse my messy background. I have to organize my spider room again, so excuse the mess.
It's like their own little spider collection.
That's it. Yeah, no news for you, Adam, would be unless you had Victoria got herself a little Philippus Regis.
Oh, I thought it might have been. I seem to remember seeing something on Facebook about it, and I was like, starting down the jumping spider rabbit hole. I've been down that one as well. I love the jumpers. That's one thing I do really miss having is having the jumping spiders. I haven't had any for a couple of years now, and I do miss them.
They're great little things, aren't they?
I've never kept a jumping spider.
They're fantastic little things.
They really are. They're just so inquisitive of everything.
Yeah, Sandra likes them, but I've never kept any.
I love it if it was able to properly keep peacock jumpers. And if it's able to get hold of them.
What's the lifespan of a jumping spider?
A couple of years.
Yeah. I think I had one that was about 2.5, and I got it as a large juvenile. So, yeah, it lived for quite a long time.
And compared to tarantulas, they're not long-lived at all.
Yeah.
Victoria, you'll work your way up to a tarantula.
It's Phil working his influence again.
Get a baby, and then he'll grow. You're fine.
Anyway, at the next show, Victoria's going to come back with an LP.
My first spider was an LP, and it wasn't a small one; it was a big one.
I think it's always nice when you start off with a baby. I remember my vegans when it was tiny. I got it when it was like that big, and now she's fully grown. It's like, oh.
Mine was tiny compared to what it is now. Mine was about 3.5 to 4 inches. Now mine, Leah, what size did we measure mine at? It's between 8.5 and 9.5 inches, around there. Mine's huge.
Oh, they
I was
definitely.
going to say, you've got a big one.
And the worst part about it is it's not female, it's a boy.
Yeah, but it's still a big one, though.
Yeah, Victoria, you know the really big spider I've got in the skull tank? That's an LP or an acid or a Paravana.
Doug, to be honest, I've never kept a wolf spider, so I don't know.
I don't know.
I've currently got a Hogman Miami.
They're really amazing spiders. Like I say, I've not kept any at home, but I know the wolf spiders at work are really massively active, and I really enjoy working with them. The ones I've seen in the past have been very, very cool.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, I think
They're definitely a bit different to the standard tarantulas and such as well, which is quite nice.
Yeah.
It's like the body shape is so much different, and like behaviorally, they're very different. We'll get you there eventually, Victoria.
Phil, can you put Christine on full screen a minute, please?
this is my female Lacidor Parabana. She's obviously not full grown yet, but like I was going to show Victoria if I can get her.
Aww.
If I can get her to she's on the dry side of composure. See if I can get her to eat. She's been acting saucy here lately. Maybe not.
She's got stage fright.
Yeah. Okay. Run it. Okay. She got it and ran with it. Oh. Well, where'd she go? There she goes.
It's like, why thank you.
Yeah, she took it and ran. She's like, okay. But they are amazing. You should. I think everybody should have one of these. You just gotta what? The urticating hairs are horrible, but I think everyone should have one of these. They really are, and you have to be careful when you go to clean their enclosure, because I've breathed in the stuff, so I've learned to use gloves and stuff. But I need to start wearing a mask because I will breathe in these urticating hairs, and I will just be coughing and coughing and coughing.
Yeah, it's not very pleasant.
No, because you go in to clean their enclosure or whatever, and you're stirring up all those hairs, and people don't realize that you're stirring up those hairs, and you're gonna breathe those in, and this sucks.
See, I think the worst hairs so far are from the Brachypelma bohemian.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're quite.
LPs, but my bohemians, when they kick, oh my god!
Yeah, I've worked with one before, and that was a kicker.
What is it? I've now got one up here recently that was part of the rehoming lot that I took on, and she said I don't think I've ever had one before. And she said every now and then, like even if I'm not even doing any maintenance with it, just walking past it, I'll start itching and like feel like I've been haired. Sort of thing.
I don't really do that, but she's still she's not a good one.
My LP is totally different to yours, Christine. Every time the lid's off, she wants to go for a walk.
That's the way my grandma stole poker piece is.
I've
Every
got
time
an adult male who loves to think he's arboreal.
Yeah. It's crazy how different they are.
He's in the I've got two adult males. One is more normal, and then the other one that's in the what's Steve Morton called the pandemic tank they done like last year, and auctioned off that I got. One's in there, and it spends most of its time right at the top of the tank. Hardly ever is actually on the substrate. Certainly does burrow.
Oh my god!
JJ, you need to get one.
You don't want to tell people you don't have one. Everybody will be saying,
You're going to get loads of LPs.
You know, they don't produce here or 50 there or a few hundred here, a few hundred there. They have like thousands at a time.
I'll see you, Lewis.
See you later, Callum. Take care.
Yeah, mine's not a kicker.
You often just get given LPs as well by like various rate. I don't think any of mine I've actually bought.
Amazing how you can inherit them sometimes.
And they're very underrated. I love them all, though.
They're a great spider. Great spider.
They are.
Yeah.
They are.
So I think it's just because they have so many babies at a time, so many spiderlings.
Yeah.
That's why they are so cheap as a sling. I've seen them for £1, sort of thing. And then certainly back in the day of Graham and Janet Smith trading, you'd buy some of them. They'd be like, "I'll have a couple of LPs for free." Sort of thing. Have some of this for free. Have some of that, and they'll just give you stuff.
That was how I got my mantis. I bought a load of millipedes, and then they gave me a mantis. I was like, okay, cool. I wasn't planning on this. I better have flies in my fridge.
I do miss them actually, because they used to be like to the best traders going.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
hopefully that'll straighten out after another molt, Michael.
Yeah, I lost my my Victoria this week.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well, Adam, are you going to go to any shows at all at some point?
I'm going to try to start coming again, but it's been a while. It has been a while. I think the last one I was at was when I came to help you out with was it the Birmingham?
Oh, possibly.
I think that was the last one I actually went to. I was going to try and come to the Thornbury one because it's literally outside, but I was working
down the road. It was a good show.
Yeah, a couple of people that I knew, a couple of other people from the zoo were headed over, like volunteers. I was like, I really wanted to go, but everything seems to fall on my work weekend, and I couldn't get it off.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do want to start trying to come to shows again. I know what I'm like. I'm just like, I'm trying to be good and not get any more animals. The moment I come to a show, last time I think I ended up spending like 150 quid and buying loads of weird, wonderful things. I'm like, it's really cool, but also you're supposed to be being good.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, you need to have a look and see when they fall, if they fall on the first time off.
It was very busy as well, actually.
That's really good, because it's been for the last few years now, hasn't it? Because I remember, I think it was the first year that I moved down here, I think I went.
Yeah.
And then COVID last year, and I think I didn't go the year before, so it's been a while, but yeah, it's literally like 5 minutes up the road, so I'm like, I definitely need to make sure I go to that one more regularly. I mean, the fact I went from going to them so regularly, and then now I haven't been for ages.
I think the next show I'll be doing is BTS next year.
My next one should be in a couple of weeks' time. Sorry. The sorry.
Are you going to the Doncaster one?
That's in November.
Yeah, you're going to that one.
Should be, yeah.
Yeah.
I should have at least another 3 shows this year.
Have you? Bloody hell. I pick up plenty of money.
So,
I have to wait until we get our passports and then plan on our trip being during one of the shows.
Yeah, don't be like that. She's not.
yeah, because should have the Sorry Reptile Amphibian show in a couple of weeks' time, and then the Southern Invert show in Brighton just after that, and then Donny in November. Now, I don't think there's any more this year.
Brighton's a bit far for me, so I'm giving that one a miss.
And then it'll be Seas in January.
I don't think I'll be going to that one.
What's the one? Which one is in May next year?
BTS.
BTS.
That's in May.
Yeah, that's always around my birthday. It's my birthday show.
I think that was the last one I went to before I moved to Bristol. I think it was like a week or so before I moved.
Oh, yeah. So,
Guys.
Who show?
That's a good idea, Michael. Start saving for next year's show.
I'll be interested to see with the likes of BTS and ANSYS what they'll be like now, because potentially we won't have all the European traders.
Well, it's going to be more difficult to come over.
Yep.
Well, I imagine Doncaster would be potentially different as well.
Yeah, can't come over. Mainly because of Brexit.
Yeah, it's caused a few issues.
Yep. So.
We found that, like transfers and moves being postponed and this, that, and the other. And then at the moment, it's all fuel shortage causing extra shenanigans as well. Just like one thing after another.
I know.
Yes, definitely.
Very stupid at the moment.
Would have been good if you'd have been there, but unfortunately, it is what it is. But there'll be more shows.
Yeah, you missed a good one, Stefan.
Stefan, make sure you come to the one I end up coming to when we come over there.
Christine, I'm going to make sure I come to that one, even if I've got a bloody walk there.
Ain't too bad, Michael.
I was about to say, it's so easy to spend a lot of money at the shows.
Mm.
There was I think it might have been one Doncaster show. I spent well over 200 quid.
It's a lot of money.
It's very, very.
It's funny now. I still do references in how many pack Noda you can buy. It's like, it's worth this much money. How many pack Noda could you buy with that? And everyone gets really confused when I make how expensive things are based on beetle larvae.
And a wheelchair race, yeah. Hi, Darren.
Jimmy, you're mad.
Esty honey, like last night.
Late night shopping is dangerous.
Shopping is dangerous.
Yes, I saw the wheelchair race too. Yeah, goofballs.
Victoria, don't rub it in.
Didn't
Yeah,
you win it twice,
Victoria
Victoria?
and Leah had a wheelchair race out in the parking lot. It was
Sounds intense.
it
It was funny.
was.
No, I don't think I saw Blonde Eye at the show.
No, I seen a stir, mate.
I saw Sturmy and Apophysis.
Yeah, I didn't see no Blondie.
I don't remember seeing a blondie at the last show I went to over here. The Sturmies are everywhere though.
I'm actually surprised Victoria won with Scott pushing her because Scott doesn't move very fast.
He moves faster than I could.
I don't need another Blondie anyway. I've got one.
What are you doing, little missy?
Oh,
Sorry,
dear.
What are you doing?
So
That's the one that that Blondie's the one that me and Sandra had to keep flipping over once we've been giving it
Aw.
a bit.
She's like, I'm just going to go away now. I don't want to be on TV.
Yeah, like she was coming over the side to say like, "Hey, mom," and then I put her with the camera. She's like, "I'm gonna go mad now."
So I wanted to say hello to you. I didn't want to say hello to everyone.
Right. Apparently, she is camera shy. It's okay. Take care, BT.
Take care, BT. See you soon.
I did.
See you, BT.
Oh dear, please no.
I think I should have gone so quick. I'm much slower at getting links up than he is.
Yes, that was fun to watch.
There we go. Okay, link for Victoria's channel for anyone that isn't subscribed to her channel. Go and see
Absolutely.
the wheelchair race.
Yes. Her channel's amazing. Everyone should go subscribe to her. She's such a sweetheart. And she's the only person that I'm aware of that like goes into such depth on the sea monkeys and stuff. It's pretty cool. And the algae and stuff like that. It's really interesting.
I've had sea monkeys for years. We actually,
Hi, Anton.
Hey Anton, did you go? Leave and come back? Yeah. Oh, no problem, Victoria. Even Jason likes watching your channel too. Sometimes he watches your new videos before I get a chance to.
Yeah, I think it's on Victoria's videos.
Yeah. I think she's gonna do really, really, really well.
Yeah, she deserves to.
Yeah.
You know, it is a good channel.
Gonna give us
See
all the right
bananas, Michael.
See bananas.
Hey, Darren.
Hi, Darren.
Nuts.
You are crazy. Wow.
Yeah, you're right there, Darren. She does need more tarantula.
It's
Needs at least one.
she just got her first spider. Maybe she'll like get a tarantula next. So. Yes,
Yeah,
Adam. There's
All
some
she's
good
got to do is do what Ellie said. Buy a little tiny sling and watch it grow.
Yeah, the thing is, if she's used to a jumping spider, even if she buys a 2 centimeter, that's only slightly bigger than a jumping spider, depending on the male or female.
Anton, they're hard to get hold of just lately. I've
Yeah.
tried a few places and I can't get hold of them.
Even here they are. I need a bunch.
There seems to be a shortage of springtails at the moment.
I need a bunch.
Like,
I need like 3 colonies of them for my Sicilian enclosure.
I think bioactive herps may have some, but I know they're limiting people to like 3 tubs because people keep buying too many.
I think sometimes it's easier to breed your own.
I got them in my snail enclosure. I've got
Oh,
millions.
they're sold out.
Yeah, snails. They always seem to absolutely love snail enclosures.
Yeah.
It's what we used to have at work. If the guys down on reptiles needed them for the dart frogs, they'd come up and borrow a load from us from the giant land snail enclosures. They seem to love snail slime.
Yep. Yeah, and you don't have to introduce them into your snail enclosures. They just turn up.
Haha, we're here.
Yeah, but I keep a box of charcoal and water in there, so they're happy anyway.
Yeah.
It's one of those things you always end up having like a little colony of somewhere.
Mm.
I have to admit mine's in with the snails at the moment, but they help keep everything nice and clean.
Yeah.
I love me the woodlice.
See, my only problem, the reason why I don't transfer them springtails to any other enclosure is because I've also got a range of different isopods in there, not just the ones that I know are safe. I think there's dairy cows in there, there's some few other ones in there, and they all have babies, and they all live together, and they're all happy. So what I wouldn't want to do is send somebody a baby of one of the others, and it ends up growing and starts munching on a mole or something.
So we've had a paint by picture.
Me too, Leah. I need some springtails.
They've become a bit like gold dust at the moment. First of all, a lot of people reckon it's because we had that sort of heat wave and stuff where they just knocked out a load of people's colonies. Where they just got too warm.
So little things like that, and it just knocks everything on the head for a while.
Yeah. So, I've got I think my Cuban snail enclosure. I've got the dark springtails in there at the moment.
They're cool.
They randomly turned up.
I find that whenever we do native species surveys, it's like all these weird and wonderful springtails. I bought an ID guide for them, and it's absolutely massive. And I'm like, oh my lord, here we go. Like trying to sit there with a hand lens and a springtail, trying to work out what it is. I'm like,
the only
really
thing
interesting.
that bothers me is now I'll probably want to get that springtail manual because that sounds really interesting. But you can get plenty of manuals on mushrooms. You think you can get a manual on bloody mold? No. I have even searched the old archives for a book on mold. It always gives you a book on fungi.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're classed as the same. They come under the same category, but they're different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's probably a case of arguing there's probably more people interested in mushrooms than there is just in mold, maybe.
Yeah, it's because they're all too busy going psycho, that's why. No, when they hear about mold, they think, oh yeah, that's only gonna like clear up my chest infection. Nothing really interesting there.
Yeah.
I don't know how true that is, Morgan. Not sure.
I don't think.
See, I could probably send you some, but it's whether I can't like guarantee 100% there won't be any tiny isopod babies in there. That's my only problem.
Yeah.
See, I reckon, and say with the mites and the mite eggs, I know I always see a link with like when I've got fungus gnats or something in an enclosure. The moment the springtails boom up, the fungus gnats seem to drop down.
Mhm.
So I do wonder whether they work as like out competing, and it might. I don't know. It's the same with the mites potentially.
And so
Yeah.
I would have thought more out competing than actually eating them,
Mhm.
because springtails are more detritivores, really. So I don't. Yeah, I'd have thought out compete.
Joe, the spider doesn't seem to care.
That'll be Koya, isn't it?
Yeah.
Koya likes growing those yellow mushrooms.
Always get those every now and then.
I can't remember what the fungus was called. Someone did tell me at one point, but yeah, it seems to be associated with the Koya.
God, I knew what they were called. They were in one of my videos not long ago. My Sunday service that everybody keeps asking for more of. I've even got my nun outfit now, so it'll be a proper Sunday service.
I keep hoping Alaska will pop up. Over the past couple weeks, you can't imagine how amazing that soil is in there now. Between the worms and having Alaska, the Sicilian, that soil is in amazing condition. It's like beautiful soil.
I like that big worm. That big worm is interesting.
Yeah, yeah. I love them. It's so cool.
I never heard about them until you got one.
Yeah.
Yeah, certainly not common in the UK.
No, not at all.
I mean, even like zoos, only Sicilians really that zoos have are the aquatic ones normally.
Yeah, the aquatic ones are awesome too. They're now I read up. They said they're literally on every continent except for Australia. Even if they're in a tiny little spot on the continent, not country, continent. And like this one, this is a Mexican one. This comes from Mexico. So, but they come in all sizes. There's aquatic ones. There's ground ones. There's so.
No, Jim, take care.
I suppose they probably live, because they live deep down in the ground anyway. They probably live where there's high levels of rainfall. Like Mexico City is half of the year flooded because it's built in a dry lake. So that's why Mexico deals with a lot of flooding. So if they find it there, that's probably because under the ground is still really, really wet.
Yeah.
While the crust dries. So it's to do with what do you call it, the water table and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's probably why they're found in certain regions.
They're amazing. If I go back to that show in December, find the same seller out, I'm gonna get another one. And he's not even full grown yet. That's the fun part.
They'd probably be quite common in waterlogged islands as well, because although the surface might be dry underneath them, they're really, really wet.
Yeah. Well, it is real.
There we go.
Okay.
It's a tropical substrate, but I wonder, was it a pre-mixed one that you bought? Because sometimes they do still contain Koya. Sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes they do.
So it may well still be the.
Actually, Phil and Adam might be able to help me with this. How do you get rid of weeds in an environmentally friendly way without constantly pulling them out?
Weeds.
Yeah.
Tortoise.
I need to get a tortoise.
I mean, in the garden, yeah, a tortoise is not a bad solution.
Okay, then. I need to start saving.
Yeah. They're expensive.
Then there's wiring, and electric, and housing. Because they need it hot as well. What about in the rain?
Yeah, they need it. Most of them need it hot and dry.
Yeah, but you don't lock yours inside, so how do they survive in the rain?
They get locked inside.
You do lock them inside.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought before you said they spend most of their time outside in all seasons.
No, if it's like really cold and rainy, then they're inside.
Oh, okay. I will have to learn a bit more about these things. I don't want to use weed killers.
I think without using weed killers, say just literally pulling them up and digging the roots out is the best way of doing it. It's not the easiest process, but it's probably the most efficient.
Yeah, but I've already done that so many times, and the bottom of my garden stayed brown until about 2 weeks ago. Now I've got about 3 foot bloody weeds. Like, they've shot up so quickly.
Are you trying to grow it into grass, or is it you just wanted to leave it blank?
I had some grass there. It's mostly all the dirt that I digged up so I could lay slabs. And I just sort of like leveled it out a bit without damaging too much of the grass. I leveled the bottom because there was no grass at the bottom anyway. But it was like, I don't know what's happened. I've got some sort of pumpkin plant growing from where I have no idea. I've got millions of tomato plants. I've got wild flowers that are growing just that I've never even seen before. And they're so pretty. They almost look like little snowflakes, but in a flower. Oh. They're really pretty. Like, Leah's like, oh my God, that's so cute. I don't know what half of them are, but they're really nice. So I don't want to dig them out and be damaging to them because I know our wildflower populations are really bad. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I don't want a garden full of weeds that look ugly and is growing bigger than I am.
Well, if you want to keep some of them, you could have a little area that you grow for that. Yeah. To have like a little wildflower bit that you can have all of those and have another bit that's actually garden.
But it's just like, it's hard work because the weeds seem to be taking over everything. I don't know where they're coming from.
I was thinking if it's an area you want to keep bare, if you cover it in a membrane or something, it will stop them growing up. At least until you put the paving down.
Oh no, the paving's down. That side of the area I was just leaving for the animals. But that's why I don't want to use weed killer because the cats and the dog go down there.
Yeah.
Like, I've sort of done it so that the animals have an area, the humans have an area. So, like, it can be turned over and it can be kept.
Back in a minute, guys. Just be about 5 minutes.
Okay, Mom.
See, although it sounds disgusting, I don't always, like, if she goes and, like, poops and wees on the patio, I'll go and wash it. But if it's on the grass, I do kind of, like, leave it there quite a bit because it actually helps nutrients get back into the soil, which is a big thing for our soil at the moment because a lot of it isn't very good.
Bit of fertilizer.
Yeah, bit of natural fertilizer.
Well, depending on the weeds, you can even feed them to your various inverts.
What,
yeah,
like?
we feed like dandelions and clover and all nasturtium, all sorts to our roaches and things like that at work.
I'd have to find out what each individual one is, you know. I think there's them big leaves. I thought they were dock leaves, though, not dandelion.
Yeah, not much excuse.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure hissers would have a go.
Yeah, some things would have a go, yeah.
Hissers do like to eat virtually anything. There are little dustbins.
Yeah. Yep. Because here we'll chuck in various weeds, in with them, in with the roaches, in with the snails, and stuff, and then even give them browse as well.
I'm just going to wait for a dry day because at the moment you can't go down that side of the garden without falling on your ass.
Do you get dry days in Wales?
Well, to be fair, most of the summer we were all dry, but this past, what?
It's been this week, hasn't it? It's just been rain after rain after rain.
Last week, most of Wales was flooded. I ended up having the snot tap turn on because of playing football in the rain.
That's so lovely worded, Ellie.
That was. I've not heard that used before. I have to remember that one.
Well, now the tap's turned off, but it's still got a bit of a leak. But yeah, that was fun playing in the rain. It was not funny at all. I could try and send you some, Doug. It's not a problem. You just have to give me your address on Facebook. You have to find me. Ellie, look, I don't know nothing about a magic mushrooms. Come from the shop. And whatever grows in the enclosures, which normally ends up in the garden or in the compost.
But I've got more baby panda kings.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So every time I look in the tub, there's more babies.
Oh wow.
I'm back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know if you know this, Adam. I've got Kibaris panda kings.
Why do I recognise the name? No, I didn't know.
Well, I've got them and they're breeding.
Oh, wow.
Awesome.
So, kind of next on my list is rubber duckies.
Rubber duckies are adorable. Every time I see them pop up, I'm like, oh.
I think they're a bit extreme, price-wise.
They're high price. So, but there's a shop not that far from me that breeds them.
I was going to say, I didn't think I'd seen them for sale in the UK yet.
They've been for sale for a while, but a lot of places selling them are selling ones that are imported.
Okay.
But it's a fairly new shop actually, Ely Exotics.
Okay. Yeah, I was about to say, I don't know them. So.
It's just outside Ely, more Witchford.
Mm-hmm.
But he's been breeding them.
Oh, that is a very tempting prospect.
Where the first panda king came from. So yeah, they're kind of on my list now. Of like now that I'm keeping and breeding panda kings, now I definitely want
Next stage up.
Rubber duckies, exactly. We'll go up a stage. The lemon blues look really nice, but they're way out of my price range.
Mm.
You know, my favorite isopod is the tropical grey. You know why? They don't eat my spiders, and they keep the soil clean. And they're inexpensive. You get plenty.
It's true.
They are cheap.
You really can't complain.
The blues and the oranges are slightly nice looking, but it's species.
The tropical greys are stunning. They're like little silver, and then you put them in the light, and they kind of got a rainbow pattern on them.
Yep. In the same species, you've got ones that are powder blue, they're real bright blue colour.
I've seen them, but I still prefer the tropical greys. I think I've got some, actually. I won something off of someone, and I had a bunch of different isopods from dairy cows and all sorts. And I was like, what the fuck am I going to do with these? I was like, can I stick them in with this? Can I stick them in with that? Can I stick them here? And they were like, yeah, that's fine.
That's where I've got mine. I've just put my woodlice colonies in with everyone else. And then it's a mixed species exhibit.
That's what I did. I've got some in with the hissers. I had some in with the skinks. There's still some in with the skinks, but the ones that can live in a drier area. Because I got sun skinks, so I got one left now. And the rest went in with the snails. All the wet ones went in with the snails.
I just remember, I think one that I always really enjoyed was maculatum, the zebra striped pill bugs. They were lovely.
Yeah, so we've got maculatums. The yellow maculatums look quite nice.
Yeah. Now I've still got the powder blues and the tropicals. Don't think I've not got as many as I used to have. Went through a phase having a lot of different wood lice and such. They're really cool.
See, I don't think I would purposely go out of my way to keep woodlouse. Like, I would keep them for a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
I've got thousands in my garden. They do a good job. I haven't seen lots of worms this year, though, so I might have to introduce some more worms. I like worms. I like watching them.
That's it there, Michael.
In a bit, Michael.
Here he is. It took me a minute to get him to find him.
Oh.
Found it.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
You can see his cute little face there,
Can he
too.
bite you?
Huh?
Can he even bite you?
I don't think he'll bite me, no. But when he got the dirt off his face, you can see his little eyes.
Does he have teeth?
Oh.
Yes, he has a bottom row of teeth. Not on the top, but on the bottom he has. But yeah, they're amazing.
He's so cool.
Yeah, I love it. I can't keep him out but a minute because I need to keep him moist. But yeah, thought I'd show you. It's hard to see his little eyes. There you can see the little white. Oh, he's got a cute little mouth too. But he's not gonna let me show it.
You can just see it.
Yeah, there you go. He's like, put me back, Mom. Give me back my dirt. You're so awesome.
Ellie,
Yeah.
look.
Oh, you got Jasper out.
Oh yeah. Nice.
Little Jasper.
I might be changing
Oh.
my baby's name from Obscurus to what did the kids call him? Mystical. They keep calling him Mystical instead of calling it Obscurus. So I'll probably have to change his name to Mystical because that's what the kids keep calling it.
Yeah, doing really well.
I fed my
Oh, he's adorable.
Here is you, baby. Here's you. Got to go wash my hands now.
To answer Doug's question
I'm going to
about
put him back in there.
woodlice
to let
woods in the bibs, it really depends on the species of woodlouse, Doug. So you need to ID them really carefully because some can be really quite protein hungry and can actually eat your animal. So you want to stay away from anything that's Porcellio normally because they're quite protein hungry. I know someone years ago they put woodlice in with their fizzing with their tree frogs, and the woodlice ate the tree frogs.
Thanks, Leah.
Yes, they're amazing. Yeah, I have a giant worm that eats worms, even though it's not technically a worm, it is technically an amphibian. I didn't realize that. It's actually an amphibian. It's pretty cool. I always tell Jason, I was like, I got a giant worm that eats worms. It's cool.
Yeah, if you go for things like Armadillidium, they should be all right because they tend to be less protein hungry.
Mm-hmm.
And stuff. Then things like Porcellio, also Porcellio, like it far drier as well. But you just certainly research any kind of woodlouse before putting it in with any animal.
Oh, that's good news, Leah.
Oh, good.
That's really good news.
Nice. It's good to know. Quite a lot of people have had problems with things like the dwarf white isopods eating their animals.
Really? The dwarf whites?
Yeah. they can be quite protein hungry.
I didn't feed Hermione yet. Not Hermione. Modesty, I didn't.
Jasper's an awesome little feeder.
I believe Tom Moran had, I think it's Tom Moran who had like a bunch of scorpions that got eaten by dwarf white isopods.
That's insane. That's hard to believe. But I guess in such numbers, I guess I can see it happening with.
That's the thing; they like explode in number and stuff.
And the thing is also, if they catch them when they're molting, that can be a really big one as well.
So that's why you thought it was like. I can't remember what species of scorpion it was, but it was like the adults would normally be up on the bark, on the cork bark and stuff, and not necessarily on the ground. But when they molted, and the babies would perhaps be on the ground, and the dwarf whites would just cover them and eat them.
So it's like they know when they're vulnerable and they just take over.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah,
I get it.
Anything in like especially like the Porcellio genus, you got to be really careful with. If it's in with anything that might molt, they will potentially eat them. Especially if you've not given them protein, because they are really protein hungry. Like my Lavis, every now and then I'll put a dried fish in for them, a little dried fish, and they clear that within an hour. Sort of thing. They just eat straight through it so quickly.
Red Belly Totes. Those are cute, Doug.
Oh, red belly totes are adorable.
They are cute.
Really underrated.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't see them as often nowadays either.
I don't. It's the same way here. You used to see them everywhere here in the States, and you don't see
I
them.
mean, they're one of these with like so many things. They become really popular for me because people go, "Oh yeah, they're really nice," which they are. And then so many people go, "Oh, they're far too common now. They're just a beginner one. They're this, that, the other. So I'm not going to bother with them." And then hardly anyone has them again. And you're like, they're awesome little things. They're really stunning little toads. They look great in setups.
That happens though, doesn't it? Every year it's something else. It's out every year. It's something. Oh, I have to have this one, and then the other ones just fall by the wayside, even though they deserve just as much respect or even more than the ones that everybody's wanting. I mean, not respect. I don't mean that way. They deserve the limelight just as much as the others.
Hi, Dale.
Hey, Dale.
Hey, Dale.
Yeah. That's it, yeah. But there's certainly something that I see. There'll be like a year or so I'll see him for sale everywhere, and then I won't see him available for years.
Yeah.
I don't know why, because they're a great little toad.
They are. I've never had them, but they're adorable.
If I could have reptiles, amphibians up here, I would have, that'd be something that I would want. Along with poison dart frogs.
Oh, I don't think I want any more amphibian. I was like gutted when my cane toad died.
Yeah, we can't have them here because they're invasive here.
I don't know if it was like a problem with it. I don't, because I did everything right. It was healthy for ages. Then I seen it, and then I didn't see it, and then all of a sudden he was dead, and I was like, "Why are you dead? Like, did I say you could die? I love you."
Yeah.
So ever since then,
it just happens though, just like with the spiders. Sometimes it just happens.
But it wasn't nice. He was my favorite.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's so hard.
Yeah.
Oh, good here, Dale.
Oh, awesome, Herb. You got 3 new babies today. Good job.
Oh, nice.
Aww.
Nice.
I wanted to get my note, but she ran away.
You wanted to get your what?
My new one.
Oh.
All right.
She ran away into a hive. Doesn't want to come out.
Okay.
That's her voices. She's like, no, I don't want to be up.
Yeah.
It's like
That
she's
snake
out.
is long.
Huge, isn't it?
Yeah,
She's
it's nearly
big.
as big as Ellie.
I was trying to get an average measurement on it, but there's no way that thing is 3 foot. Hell no.
Nice.
Yeah, this is true, Hart, because a lot of the vendors don't want to take all their animals back home so you can get good deals. But there's pros and cons because if you go the first day, you got all the selection, but if you go the second day, you get the good deals. So
You're more than one day then?
Huh?
So your expo is more than one day?
Most of our expos last 2 days.
So all of ours are one day?
Oh.
Yeah, it's usually go around at the end of the day, and that's when you can sometimes get.
Yeah,
I've had that before, getting bits and pieces.
Okay. Yeah, ours are 2 days, most of them.
Ours are a few hours.
Wow, that's wild. No wonder there's such a big deal then, because they don't.
That's what I was thinking, Leah. I was thinking it's about 4.5 to 5 foot.
Yeah. Someone attempted to put on a 2-day show, a couple of years ago, but a lot of the traders absolutely hated it. Sort of because they just said no one turned up. There's hardly anyone went.
I wonder why that is, because I'm sure they've made more money for a show than what they would selling online.
You don't actually. A lot of them don't.
No.
No. A lot of traders make far more selling online than they do at the shows.
Bloody hell, that surprised me.
That's crazy, because then you got to worry about shipping and everything too. It's hard to believe. You'd think that's where they would rack up, as would be at the shows.
Yeah, no, I know. About a couple years ago was saying for a show, unless they can pretty much guarantee that they're going to do at least $2,000 in the show, it's not worth them going, because they can do that just at home, online in the day sometimes.
Yeah.
So you haven't got the travel and all that over there.
Travel,
right?
Packing up the day beforehand, getting there, and if it the 1 day show may take a trader actually 3 days to do 1 day show. Of 1 day packing everything to take to the show, doing the show, coming back from the show, and then unpacking everything the next day.
Yeah.
So, a lot of times, for a lot of traders, especially ones with online stores, sometimes it's actually more just to advertise their online store.
Mm-hmm.
People will hopefully go onto their online store and buy stuff at some point.
Yeah, I mean, so there's got to be something said for the social interaction and getting new clients.
Oh yeah, there's that.
Yeah, and the networking side of things as well.
Yeah. But yeah, I know there's a lot of hard work put into bringing all the animals to these expos and stuff. Yeah, I know it's a lot of work. Not just the animals, all the vendors. It's a lot of work.
Yeah, it's all the stock and everything, and it's things like cork, barcodes, substrates, everything like that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So a lot of time, for a lot of traders, it's more a case of advertising and hopefully that makes some sales and stuff. But most of what they're hoping for is that the weeks afterwards that they get hopefully a boost in online sales.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose you think about it, when it's only like 4 or 5 hours of a day with all the travelling and setting up and everything, makes you wonder half the time if it is worth their while doing it.
I think most of the traders make enough to make it worth their while, otherwise they wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
But they need to be doing, maybe a couple of grand in that few hours.
Yeah. Oh, the cat's freaked out by the new snake. That's.
Yeah, because the little skinks that were this big was in that enclosure, right? I didn't know until I went to swap them to the smaller enclosure that one had died because it'd been a natural stink and digged itself all the way down.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I was taking out the soil I had already found it. So it's in the small enclosure anyway, but I put the snake in the skink enclosure after cleaning it and everything else. And now the cat used to like watching the skink and then headbutt the glass trying to get a skink because it used to go like this and fast.
Right.
And now he's like freaked because this tiny thing is now this huge like.
Women hell, that grow up fast.
Yeah. The heck?
You do make any sound, make any noise, he jumps a mile while he's watching the snake. It's so funny.
So yeah, all our RSOs, yeah, they're normally sort of 10 till 4 or 11 till 4, and then that's it for the day.
Wow. Ours go like
Bristol, but I don't know if I could go to all of them if they're all like that because it's kind of like going to Sunday market, just with inverts.
ours go from like 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eat both days.
Oh yeah, no. I was will say like close at 5. Traders will start packing up at 3.
Wow.
It's like you get that sort of rush early on, then it sort of quietens down.
Yeah, you often like traders very much with like parrots and waiting for the first one to start packing up around 3 o'clock or whatever, 3:30 or whatever. They're so right, everyone pack up.
Dang.
It's nice to get there and spend a bit of cash, but it's even better meeting up with people, friends, and new people and that.
Right.
That's the side of it I like more.
See, all my friends are in the UK, so whenever I go to the shows around here, there's nobody I know. Like, although that one vendor did know me, which made me happy. When I went to that one show, he knew he's a subscriber to my channel. And I was like, I got so excited because he gave me such a good deal on those 5 spiders. I was like, yay, somebody noticed me.
Yeah, it's quite an odd one when like someone that you don't know but just watches the channel comes up to you at a show or whatever and be like, oh, it's you or whatever.
Feel like a celebrity.
Yeah.
I had a Doncaster.
I had it. Somebody tapped me on the shoulder and says hello, and I says, sorry, but who are you?
I had a Doncaster. I just bought Mark O'Shea's new book off Mark O'Shea.
That was awesome, huh?
And so yeah, he signed it for me, and I literally turned away and said goodbye to Mark. Went to walk away, as like this young lad was like, "Oh, excuse me, can I have a photo with you?" And I'm like, "There's Mark O'Shea there." He's too young to know who Mark O'Shea is. Probably he doesn't realise like how important to like the reptile world Mark O'Shea is.
Yeah.
But I don't know half of these big names, to be fair. It was like, what was his name? I was in Bristol. Everybody was so excited.
Nigel Marvin.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But the thing is, it was like, oh yeah, he's from Walking with Dinosaurs. And I'm like, really? The low budget program?
Oh, Nigel Marvin, he was like my childhood.
Exactly, yeah.
He was really great while he was there, though. He interacted with everyone. He was great with the kids. He got on like a normal person, not like he's some or anything like that. But the way people were talking about it, it's like, oh yeah, he's like celebrity, like, oh yeah, this and oh yeah, that. And I was like, okay, then so what's he from? And then they were like, oh, Walking with Dinosaurs. It's like, not even Jurassic Park. Like, come on.
He done a fair few documentaries.
Yeah, some of them are really good. But I don't know, when you see it from my point of view and the way everybody else expressed, they was this amazing person, and it was like, no problem. Well, I wasn't too bothered by him, to be fair. I think I'm more bothered by meeting people that I've seen I've never actually spoke to. So, or I've spoken to in chat all the time, or in private message all the time, but not in person.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was cool meeting Nigel.
I'd love to meet him. So I've heard lots of stories, but I've never actually met him in person. Apparently, he went to school with my old headmistress from school back in the day. It's like, it's amazing how small the world can be sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you haven't met him because, like, he lives like down the road from Bristol Zoo, doesn't he?
Yeah, no, he's. I've not met him. A few of the guys at work have met him before, but no, I've not. I've not met him yet.
He does seem to be a really nice person. I will give you that. But I just think because I was like you and everybody else, and I didn't know who the guy was specifically. You know, I watch programs, but I don't go Googling them. Not unless it's a quiz game or something like that where you need to know who's who and like, yeah. So I didn't really pay attention. So when I was like trying to figure out, okay, who's this big, huge, marvelous person? And it wasn't a big, huge, marvelous person, but to a small group of people, it was a big, huge, marvelous person. Do you get what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to put him down, but it was just perspective.
He's a niche celebrity.
Yeah.
Well, he's a niche celebrity. Which is what, Mark O'Shea's a niche celebrity. You know, even arguably Steve Baxwell is. You know, he's a bit more well known than others, but he's still kind of a niche celebrity.
Yeah.
Nick Baker.
I keep reading it because I keep getting ID guides, and Nick Baker's done quite a lot of stuff with them.
Yeah.
So it's like I keep seeing his name popping up again and again.
I met Mark O'Shea when he worked at the West Midlands Safari Park, and he signed up one of his books for me, what I'd just bought.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, he doesn't work there anymore. He left a few years
I was
ago.
a lecturer now, and I.
Yeah. He's Professor of Herpetology at University of Wolverhampton.
Nice.
Very nice.
Yeah, he's talking about making it a proper herpetology course, which could rival Banger. And even talking about making it a master's, which would rival Banger because they don't do a master's in herpetology. There's currently only one master's in herpetology, and that's in Brussels, I think he said.
Can I question, what's herpetology again?
Study of reptiles and amphibians.
Amphibians. It's a
I don't know why, but for some reason I keep thinking it was to do with plants.
That's herbology.
I'm getting confused, and I'm just like, okay. So why would the reptile guy go from being with reptiles to studying plants? I'm just trying to think about it. My brain isn't working today. I'm really sorry, guys.
You're okay, sweetie.
And I plan to do masters next year at this rate. I don't even think I'm going to finish this. I think I'm losing more brains than I'm gaining.
I am too.
Looking at making a full-blown MSc at University of Wolverhampton for herpetology specifically.
Wonderful.
That would be really interesting.
Yeah, so it would only be the second one in Europe for it.
Nice.
Yeah, it's got some big plans. It's at the moment still a case that in the UK, if you want to study herpetology, you go to Bangor. And
Banger's the most well known, isn't it?
It's the best one. And you've got Wolfgang there, and let's face it, Wolfgang Worcester is like one of the best people to study under when it comes to anything herpetology related. So, but yeah, Mark's course could be quite interesting if he gets all the go ahead. And looking at the trips he wants to do with as part of the uni course. So,
it would take a lot of planning, but it would be really good if it does.
It's going to be years in the planning.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to take years because Banger do herping trips out to Arizona. Well, if he can get the go ahead, he wants to do herping trips to Costa Rica and New Guinea.
Oh, Costa Rica would be amazing
As part of the course. But I think New Guinea's going to be a difficult one with insurance.
Yes, it's true. But no, at least Costa Rica would be amazing. I really want to go over there at some point. So many of my friends and colleagues have been over there. Love to go.
Because didn't Mark go over there like every year or something?
Yeah, Mark's been over. A number of the other guys have been over working with like lima leaf frogs and things like that. So yeah, they've done loads of bits and pieces over there. So it'll be amazing to go.
No.
It's where all of our butterflies come from.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yeah, from the butterfly farms out in Costa Rica.
Mm-hmm. El Bosque Nuevo.
So that's what from what Marcus Jay says. Like, if you go there, you're pretty much guaranteed to see stuff.
Yeah, you got some amazing wildlife.
Whereas sort of other places, you're not necessarily guaranteed to actually see anything.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you can pretty much guarantee you're going to see some interesting wildlife and interesting reptiles and amphibians in Costa Rica.
Well, and inverts as well. It's like the amount of things when Mark was over there, he was telling me, he's like, he was showing me all these pictures, and he's like, a lot of them are probably undescribed species. It's just amazing to think about.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Anton's fundraiser from New Guinea. Three pythons.
What?
That's cool.
Is that Salem?
Does Bristol still have the big amethystines?
Yeah, we've still got the two amethystines.
Nice.
They're yeah, they're big. I had to help them take one of them up to vets a few months ago, and that was interesting.
I bet.
Yeah, I mean, when they get in a bin, it's okay. It's just getting them in the bin in the first place is the tricky bit. But you just have to be careful.
Yeah, I remember probably the last time I went to Bristol, seeing the amethystines, I was like, oh my god, I've got amethystine pythons.
They're absolutely stunning snakes.
You just don't see them that often.
No, absolutely stunning.
So, what else is in the reptile department at the moment there?
Pardon?
What else is in the reptile department at the moment there?
What else?
Yeah, have you got anything like tree pythons or tree boas in there?
Welcome back.
Not as much at the moment. They've got a couple of savus.
I'll welcome back.
Nice.
Oh, and a Sanzinia still at the moment.
Cool.
They're going much more down the line of like the tree monitors, because like we've got the McCrae, the blue tree monitors, and the Prasinus. They're absolutely amazing. We're getting baby McCrae all the time now, which is really good.
Oh, nice. Very jealous of McCrae.
Yeah, they're absolutely beautiful youngsters. So yeah, we haven't got as many snakes now. The amethystines are the main two we've got in there at the moment. I mean, they're stunning ones to have. They're absolutely gorgeous.
Well, they absolutely are.
Yeah, the female sits there watching you whilst you're cleaning the Uromastyx enclosure. She sits there just like, I'm just going to keep an eye on you. Just see what you're up to.
See, so far, all mine, they sort of use me as like, I'm going to bracelet around to you while you clean my house. That's what they do. But the thing is, when I clean their house, like, I'll be picking up their house, I'll be walking to the kitchen, I'll be washing their house in the sink, and the snake is just like this. That is okay. I'm on my travel. I'm having a good time.
I've got a friend who's got a bearded dragon that sits on his shoulder while he does the hoovering. So he's just like having a little ride round on his back.
Oh, my beardie, he is going through that stage of going from like teen to adult. And 1 minute is the friendliest dragon you could possibly come across. The next minute it's like, come near me, I'll bite your fucking hands off. It's really funny to watch, but I know it's just like a stage, so yeah.
My capybaras are doing really well.
Oh, your babies?
Yeah. They're super, super confident.
That's awesome.
I suppose they would be. They get everything given to them.
Right.
No,
Yeah.
I've seen pictures of the babies. They do look adorable.
They really do.
It's the fact that they, the two little babies will come up straight up to you for scratches and belly tickles.
That's so
Oh, straight
cute.
on that.
That's so
So,
cute.
like, they
Come and love me. Too
just
cute.
don't have a care in the world. I had to literally, well, it was a few weeks ago now, I had to pick one out of the food bucket because it would just wing out of the food bucket. It's an experience. I literally
Come
had
on,
to
you can't come with me. Come on.
get it out. They didn't care at all. Did not care that I was picking it up. Did not care what I was doing.
No, I still love the armadillos over there. Those boys are so cute. I love the armadillos he works with.
Take woodlouse and size it up, and I think they almost count as an honorary invertebrate because they're just giant woodlouse.
Spoil rotten thing.
It's just always wobbling.
It's like, hey, where's my lovins?
Why have you stopped tickling me, please?
So cute. Oh, Aracatina.
You should take Phil's videos to a voiceover. Your voice would work really well for
What's that?
that. Adam.
Oh, Adam's voice.
Yeah.
Oh, Adam's voice would make
Go,
good
in,
voiceover
go
for
into narrator mode. And here today we see the capybara having a tickle.
With me, it's Adam, and then our friend Gareth, who is Adam's doppelganger.
We were, funnily enough, we were talking about Gareth today. Yeah, no, that would be hilarious.
So Eddie, when we have Gareth from Natural History Covered podcast, come on, you'll probably think it's Adam because they look very similar to each other.
It's people still get us muddled up occasionally.
Gareth is pretty cool, though. I would like to meet Gareth.
Gareth is lovely.
Gareth from Untitled Adam does as well. Does a very good 1950 style infomercial voice.
Yeah, can do.
I don't know, but I got a feeling that if Adam, sorry, I still got it in my head that I need to call you Andy, but I'm forcing myself.
I'll know who you mean.
Right. So if Phil made them funny tickling belly videos, and then Adam did the voiceover, right? And even if he made it the funniest ever, I'd still probably have that David Attenborough feeling where I'd be like,
No one can beat David Attenborough. He's the master of it all.
no, but you just have one of those voices where you automatically sit back and enjoy. Like you could say the funniest
thank you.
thing ever, and it'll come like it's serious shit, but it's so relaxing.
I'd put myself in that category. That's a compliment.
I only noticed it when he was doing it about the capybaras just then, like, why did you stop tickling my belly?
See, it's not narration, it's like I'm thinking what the animal's thinking. And go, right.
But it would have been really funny, if you did that and then reposted.
I'm trying to remember. There was a TV series where they did that, didn't they? They narrated over animals.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to remember what it was called.
But I think I've got one of them. I think it's on Netflix.
Definitely, Michael.
Probably somewhere, yeah.
They did it with meerkats. It was hilarious.
Just voice dubbing over them.
Was it Absurd Planet or something?
Yeah.
Something along that line.
I loved it. I thought it was fantastic.
There was something like that. And then they ended up. See, Netflix ones, I find some of them are really good, and then some of them are really shit.
Yeah, that's true.
They done one, was it Tiny Animals or something, or Small Animals or something like that, and it was terrible because it was all made up drama stories between animals that were just not going to happen ever in the real world.
Yeah.
He's got to keep it somewhat realistic.
Yeah, I think Matthew Russell Perry had like done something with that or something, or knew somebody done something. And was like, you know what? Yeah, the filming of it looks fantastic. The footage looks all great, but why the hell are you making this story up?
See, I've taken a break.
That's a load of rubbish.
He's on Netflix because ever since I watched Seaspiracies, oh my god, I went into a rage. That program drove me up the wall.
I haven't watched that.
If you got a hat, you don't want it.
It's upsetting. Yeah. But it's reality, unfortunately.
Mm.
Yeah, but there's enough people in this world that knows what's going on to do something about it, and nobody actually gives a shit.
I know that.
Because of the powerful people, that's what it is.
Yeah.
I was watching, not so much watching, but listening to a police report last night about Cardiff policing. And the exact same thing is happening in Cardiff policing. And they can't do shit about it because they're getting rid of the lower down officers, because the lower down officers are challenging the higher officers. And then the higher officers, when they don't want to, like, if it's not easy for them to just be like, okay, we're going to dismiss you, instead of just getting rid of them because it doesn't work in their favor, they're trying to get them actually put in prison or something like that.
Mm.
So it's still going on. And what can we do? Nobody's doing shit. But there's enough people that know about it, so why not?
Mm.
Like, if you're one person, I understand why you're scared. But with everybody knowing, like, really?
Yeah.
I don't know. For me, I got a big mouth, you know. I don't mind saying shit. If it has to be said, someone's got to say it. When somebody says it, somebody else might actually be like, oh, yeah, you know what? That's true. I can say that too.
Yeah. Oh, okay, guys. I hate to, but I'm going to have to hop off because I have to literally go to the store and buy dinner and then come back home and cook it. So,
Yeah, no worries, Christine.
it was a
Yeah.
pleasure
No
to
problem.
meet you, Adam.
No, it's a pleasure to meet you too.
I hope you come back and join us again.
Well, if you guys will have me back, I'm always happy to talk and listen.
Absolutely. You can come back whenever you want.
It's not always this calm on AKAC, though.
No,
Games
it's
nights are definitely not calm, okay?
not.
Don't be surprised
Calm
if you
day.
end up leaving the stream with a pair of knickers on your head.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be interesting. I mean,
This is a calm evening, honestly. It really is.
Yeah. My one, I think when I'm hosting, they tend to be more calm, don't they? But
I'll see y'all later. Take care.
Take care.
oh, so is it Phil's influence keeps everyone calm?
I think one stream, both me and Phil ended up leaving with tinfoil and knickers on our head
Well, I had boxes on my head.
and socks on our hands.
I didn't have
Yeah,
socks.
hold on. Right, guys, I'm going to have to go because something's come up and I've got to go and get it sorted.
No worries, Mark.
No worries, Mark. It was a pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you, Adam. Hope to see you again soon. Right, take care, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Right.
Bye.
So, yeah. No, that one, no, I had tinfoil on my head and boxes on my head, and I end up in my tutu.
Yes, admittedly, it's not the weirdest thing we've seen. So, I mean, I'm not going to question it.
So,
Definitely fun for sure.
a twat.
We all quit.
Okay. I was not expecting it to go down to that.
It was the first time. It's been the only time as well so far.
Until the next time.
I'm glad. This is the only time. Deary me. What we're going to do.
As well, that was.
I think you should save quiz night now for when you do get Gareth on a stream. I think Gareth will work really well. We have 6 spots, so we could have Gareth and Adam together.
That'll be interesting.
That would be interesting. I mean,
With Gareth and Adam.
Or what we could do is have both of us and just swap between and see how many people notice.
But it has to be the games night with the punishments.
We'll do.
I'm intrigued now.
We'll do that something. We'll have when Gareth comes on, hopefully perhaps next time I'm hosting, it'll be potentially him, Aaron, and possibly Drew, all three hosts of the Natural History podcast.
Put it this way, you've got 4 weeks now to arrange.
That would be cool.
Then Jane from the Norwich Reptile Shed, he said he'd like to come on.
And Leah's getting excited now we've said punishment.
Oh, trust me, I'm excited by the word punishment.
But we had a really clean stream this night.
It has been clean.
Oh, it's just been discussion. It's been nice.
It's not often.
Pleasant Sunday afternoon.
It is not always clean.
There's more Sunday service than church this week, I think.
What's the biggest invert in the zoo I work? Probably the biggest invert we've got is Aracatina Marginata, probably. So really big giant African land snail.
I don't have the really, really big ones. I have.
It's like sort of size shell.
Yeah, I think
I think my ones are getting up there now. They're not quite fully big yet.
I got the A Felicia thing.
Oh, I've had the Felicia before.
Yeah, the ones that breed like mad.
Yep.
Yeah, I moved mine on because they were breeding so much. And like the Marginata keep me busy anyway.
I quite like them though. I don't even mind that I've got millions of babies.
I mean, the babies are adorable. Absolutely love them.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the amount that you got to cull all the time.
Yeah.
Just to stop the runts, to get rid of the runts and stuff.
I think a natural selection will happen.
I see
They're growing and they're getting really strong. And if anything, they've multiplied even more.
They just breed and breed and breed.
Yep.
It is amazing.
But I like them though. I just don't like them sucking on me.
Yeah, that's one of the weird bits. I sat there once feeding my ones a bit of carrot, and it is just so weird watching them eat sometimes.
Yeah, but if you actually felt them suck on you, it feels like something sucking on you with sandpaper.
I know, it's so weird. No, I love them. I've still got like 16. It's like, there's so many of you. What are you doing?
I think I will have to get a really, really big one at some point though.
They're really cool. Big ones are cool. I mean, up here now, I just have normal species now.
Yes, go and he just wants me to say he's really sorry.
What?
I said Mark just messaged me saying, "Can you tell Phil I'm really sorry, but he has to go." I know what happened. There was an emergency earlier. When I was a bit away with the fairies.
Yeah.
I did offer him to go there and then because it is actual emergency. But he's like, for the minute, it's all right. It's being handled. He's going to go a bit later.
Mm-hmm. I hope everything's all right.
Yeah. What do you want, Salem? You're already a bully. You give me blood already today. My Salem cat is not being...
Victoria and Leo are trying to descend the chat into depravity.
I know. I was watching that. I figured out how watching chat now.
Oh, you figured out how to watch the chat. I was right.
Yeah. I wasn't sure for ages, but I was on the wrong thing.
Really evil. I'll have to go in a minute and see.
What's the biggest invert at Bristol?
I think longest would be the giant Vietnam sticks, the Fragonistria. Probably the biggest we've got would be the jungle nymphs now.
Oh.
I'm trying to think because all the others are fairly small. Like we did used to have the Aracatina would probably been the largest. We haven't got them anymore.
What's
I
an
don't know.
actine? I've never heard of that.
It's another giant African land snail.
Yeah, they're the largest ones, aren't
snails.
they? Are they the largest ones, Aracatina?
How big do you need?
One of.
Like, what tank do you need to keep a big one like that?
Big tank.
I've got mine in a 150-litre box.
How big's that? Like 5, 6
Big. It's probably about 3 to 4 foot long 4 foot long, 3 foot wide, and probably about 3 foot deep.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Ish. Yeah, I just went to Wilco and was like, I need your biggest box.
Fair enough.
And they were very confused when I was saying it was for snails and it wasn't for normal things.
I had the exact same thing when I was going for boxes for in the range. And I was like, where's your boxes gone? I wanted a specific size for a specific purpose and they're not here. Oh, they'll come back in a few months. We're sold out. I said, yeah, but my spiders can't wait for a few months. You know, they're growing. Like spiders. You put in spiders in a box. I said, where else do you want me to stick them?
Oh, it's amazing how you can freak out people in the shops. There was one of the ladies in Sainsbury's got really confused because I was buying tights. She's like, why on earth are you buying tights? I'm like, yes, I'm thinking of a cross-dresser. Actually, it was to cover the tanks to stop flies getting in and out.
Yeah.
But
my brother doesn't keep inverts, right? But he went to buy tights for his missus in a rush because hers broke on that day and we were going like to a place. He went in a rush to Asda to buy tights. And they were like, you're buying large tights? He's like, yeah. I'm in the pantomime. My tights got a hole in them. He just looked at him and walked off. It was hilarious.
Oh, dear.
Yeah. Like, you do get some holiness when you're buying stuff like that. For animals, people don't realise that things like tights are really good to actually stick over like phanarium lids and stuff that stops little flies getting in and stuff.
Yeah, they're really, really handy. It's just weird when you go and buy them at 11 o'clock in Sainsbury's and the lady questions you.
Yeah.
It's like, I needed tights, it's an emergency. Why is it an emergency? Flies.
Yeah, and they're like, what?
See, if I'm ever doing my hair, I need it to dry, not fast, but not slow. Like I need it to be prolonged. Tights are amazing for that shit. You stick on your conditioner, you prolong it, then you rinse your hair later. Oh my god, your locks are succulent.
I was about to say, mine doesn't really work like that. I haven't got enough.
Oh, I know Phil.
It's slowly going.
Phil's already conditioned enough. But because I bleach mine, it takes work.
So, as in, once again, like, certainly get weird looks when you go into the shop buying KY jelly for snake probing.
Oh, the number of jokes about the KY jelly in the locker.
Still a tube of KY in my locker. With my probes.
Oh, dear.
Just in case.
Oh, Leah says, why is she not a spanner?
Is she not a
Yeah,
spanner?
who do you want to boot out?
Yeah, who's Leah trying to boot out?
That's good.
But I don't know why they question men. Like, do you get what I mean? The thing is, right? They don't question women when you go and buy men's boxers or men's socks or men's dressing gowns or men's t-shirts. Now I know I buy all these things; they're more comfortable than girls' ones.
At the moment, we try and buy tights. It's like, why on earth are you buying this?
I know.
I don't know if it was the frequency that I was buying them that was the question.
Oh, it's even worse when guys go and buy sanitary pads. Like, hello,
You should be expanding now.
I have daughters. Like, I need to know this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
My boy doesn't care though. My boy is like that boy off of. Have you seen that one that comes up on Facebook? Mum, do you need these for your bum? I know you need these for your bum. I've seen you. You use these.
There's no filter, straight to the point.
Yeah. Every time we go in there, Mum, did you get your pads for your bum? I'm like, Dom, we got loads in the house. He's like, yeah, but you don't want to run out. You don't want to leak.
It's true. I like Michael's comment. I like the feel of them on my skin. I'm going to have to remember that one. And then you just thread your arms into them and walk out.
See, next time, if like next time you go, you should question them and say, and what about men's rights? You know, if it was a woman, they would soon bring up, what about women's rights? What about men's rights?
We have the rights to buy tights too.
But I love my cousin at the moment. Every single time I goes to my nan's house, right? It's literally like the opposite to normal. The boy wears the girls' clothes. Every single time I go there, he's either in a hoodies or in a jog bottoms. He's always wearing her clothes, but then she wouldn't fit into his clothes because he's the skinny one and she's a slightly bigger one.
Oh.
But it is cute. It was like, I've always been the opposite way around. I've always worn the boys' clothes. I always used to take my brother's clothes. They were way more comfortable than mine. Leo says I agree. Yeah, some things I do agree with. It should be equal rights.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I think some women have taken women's rights way too far, where some parts of women's rights haven't been taken far enough. But those women that are actually fighting for women's rights forget the fact that it was men fighting for women's rights to begin with. So I think now, this day in life, you should have a balance, because at the end of the day, a man can't raise a household on his own anymore. There's not enough income anymore.
Yeah. No, I do agree.
This is very true.
Sorry, we went from tights to rights.
I know. It's just like full circle of the conversation now.
We went quiet. Well, while we're on the topic, we might as well fight for animal rights. Why not? We're all animals at the end of the day. We're all part of the mammal system. Well, some of us. Some of us.
We are mammalian. Words are hard.
We are primates.
Mm-hmm. For some reason, then I almost called mammals a genre. That's why I stayed quiet. I've got a bad habit of doing that. When I'm talking about music, I keep calling it a genus.
Oh, this is a nice genus. Music.
Phil's caught me out a few times saying that. He's like, Ellie, don't you mean genre? I feel sorry for my teachers this year. With the way my words have been coming out of lately.
What's in the head comes out in different words.
Well, the best part is I explain myself in the weirdest way possible.
Don't go straight there. Go on some kind of tangent.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, I find the same. I know what my brain's trying to say, and it comes out in a way that eventually gets to the point, but goes some different way about it to what would normally happen.
It's like, I don't mean to beat around the bush, but do you understand what I'm saying? Like, this is what I'm saying. You have to give an example. When you
listen, we'll get there in the end.
When you're doing science, you have to have examples. You have to have experiments. You have to have all these things. So now I will say something, and then I have to give an example. And it's like, well, what can they compare it to make an example? How can I make them understand what I'm saying?
No, definitely.
Right. We'll go for just another 10 more minutes.
Yeah, I got a
Well,
job. Wash my
I know.
hands.
I'm starting to been at work again today. It's the end of day 6, so I'm a bit knackered.
Well, now.
Day off tomorrow. Whoop.
Hey.
I don't got a day off tomorrow because I was supposed to start uni yesterday. I haven't even started yet. I haven't been on any classes or done work. I did start early, mind you, and then I ended up completing a lot in a short space of time, which is completely fine because it means I'm not running late now. But I haven't stopped between decorating, cleaning, posting, running around for family. I haven't had a break.
No stopping.
So
I found that recently. These last few weeks have just been so busy. It's like, just want to breathe for a minute and just step back.
This year I'm finishing off my environmental part of my degree, Victoria.
Oh, that'd be exciting.
It's all environmental studies. Last year I did hydrology and my final year of design. But instead of doing it mostly on hydrology, I did it mostly on wastewater and shit in the water.
So basically that goes off on that.
Huh?
So her brain just got distracted.
Oh.
No, it's been fantastic being on. Thank you. It's very nice to meet you.
Even my design part of my work ended up going to wastewater instead of design. I ended up doing this whole design on UV filters for wastewater. You know, like the UV filters you use. Well, they're not filters; they're light bulbs. But technically, they're the best way to clean your water. UV filters and activated oxygen. They take the chemicals out. You don't need as many chemicals. It takes all the bacteria out, and it's really clean. And it's safer for people and animals, and it doesn't damage the environment.
Now we use the UV filters at work with the systems and such that we use. So yeah, I know the principle.
Yeah, because they would be used now generally, like in every other country, they're already employing that in. In here, they're not. So, but there's lots of other things that goes with it, and you try challenging them companies. Oh my God, this.
Yeah, it's trying to break through a wall.
But I'm gonna get there one of these days.
So where are you studying?
I'm with the Open Uni.
Oh, okay, so it's long distance stuff.
Yeah, I was with Cardiff Uni, but when I wanted to swap from psychology and sociology and biology, they was like, no, you have dyslexia, you can't join architecture. So I went to the Open Uni for engineering because the Open Uni don't do architecture. Because I like big systems. Well, yeah, so instead of doing architecture, I'm doing environmental engineering.
Oh, it does sound interesting.
Hard work.
Yeah, I can imagine a lot of hard work.
The thing is you've got to look from every single species, from water species, ground species to plant species. You have to take everything into consideration before you can even think about a design. And then when you do think about a design, you've got to think, oh, okay, well, where does this material come to? Is it going to regrow? If you're regrowing it, like, say, palm oil, is it going to damage the native, like, species there? Is it going to be the type of thing where you need to go and grab this land and cause a problem? Or is it growing naturally and will automatically regrow without drama? So that's all the things that we got to look into. So
it's a complex issue.
Yeah, but I'm on my last year now, so it's like...
Home straight.
I showed some people my work from my design work because I've already finished the design side of it. From last year, they were like, I didn't even have to do this kind of work until I was finishing my master's.
Ahead of the game.
It's like they've changed it around. But if you look at the, you know, the way every uni is like okay, you get an A grade or a B grade or something like that. If you look at the gradings, because Open Uni got so much stick, because they say, uni students from Open Uni get it so easy, they get books and it's done. Our grading is so much more harder than theirs. And the thing is, because we have to go out into the world and do the work and do all different stuff, and like when we need materials, we have to go and research that, we have to bring it home, we have to build them. We've got more experience than they have. So we get better employment. The only problem is we have to work harder to get that, say, A grade or to get that B grade, because the amount of points you need are a lot higher for us than it would be for them. So that's
you're working harder for it, but that experience is so key as well, as you say. It's getting that extra bit. It all just adds those little extra arrows in your quiver, and when you get it at the end of the day.
But I just need to get my study head back on, and then I should be fine.
I always found that at uni, after getting back into it, it was that bit after summer where you've got to switch back into that mind again and go, right, I'm back at uni now. I'm not off. Right, boom. And it takes a bit of time just to get back in the swing of it again.
Normally, I didn't really take so much time off, but because of COVID last year, it was like...
That threw everything into disarray.
Because I got kids as well, so I ended up homeschooling. So I was doing it full time, but then I cut half of the other module and be like, I don't have time to study 40 hours a week and homeschool for 6 hours a day and still do the cleaning, do the chores, do everything else needs doing. I didn't have enough time to finish uni work. So now I've got to refinish that one off and do year 3 this year. Now, for some reason, job centres like, you have to come for a job interview. Like, no, hell no. You can jog on.
It's just extra time.
Oh, well, I'll take all my paperwork in and they'll be like, nothing's changed. And I'm like, no, nothing's changed. Because before, when I said I was going to uni, they're like, no, you can't go to uni. You have to work. It's like, I'm going to uni so I can get better work. And the reason I wanted to go into architecture is because I was working for an interior design company. So I was already doing interiors design.
Something similar, yeah.
Like, I was already doing, and there wasn't small designs like for private companies, like, say, a house here or a house there. We're talking about all the schools we're making environmentally friendly. Like Cardiff Uni's just been redone by that company. All the banks have just been redone by that company. Everything in Cardiff, Bristol, Regent, Swansea, they've now all been taken on by that company because they do the best job for the biggest experience and they're more environmentally friendly.
And it should be forefront now, the environmentally friendly side of things.
They are making it more and more like my daughter, she just had her options this year because she's in year 9. And she wants to do design and fashion, but she had to pick a third option. She's like, Mum, I want to do the food, but what's environmentally friendly food? Isn't food just food? I'm like, well, it depends. Go and ask a vegan. But I'm like really against mass production of food, but there's not really another way around it because there's so many different clauses. Like you can grow your vegetables, but unless you've got a largest patch, then and they're seasonal, you're not going to have enough vegetables for all year. And what if that crop doesn't work too well the first time round? Like it's controversial. You can't grow your own meat because no matter where they say, okay, well you can kill it, but you can't kill it because you read them clauses, you cannot actually do it. Even though it says right at the top you can. So it's very hard for anybody to become self-sufficient or be environmentally friendly without
it's tough to do. It's just trying to make us, like when we're going out and buying things, trying to choose things that are more local or are at least more environmentally friendly and done in a sustainable way. It's just little things that we can try and do, so like little steps in the right direction, and it all adds up.
But not all the information is out there, though.
No, it's not. No.
There's been places which says, I'm from Wales, like grown in Wales. Then it says from New Zealand. Right underneath.
And also, you'll often get things that are grown within the UK, but packaged in Thailand, or wherever else, purely because for some reason it works out cheaper, even if it is being grown in Britain, to send it halfway around the world, to package it,
It's just
and then send it
insane.
back.
Yeah, but why do they need packaging? Do we need packaging? Can you not go with little cotton bags and collect what you need?
Mm-hmm.
No, never killed us in the old days to grab an apple, look at it. Oh, I like this one. Oh, I like that one. Do you get what I mean? Why do we have to have them in a plastic bag? Why do we have to have them in a box even?
Purely because that's what the supermarkets want us to think that we should have them in that.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, it's hardest not to buy as much as possible, but
the global food market is a big thing in our environmental studies. That's like one of the major things we have to tackle. In fact, my first 3 projects is on that. So
that'd be interesting.
they're awful. They're awful to go through because no matter who you talk to, you are getting an argument. There is no right or wrong middle ground because people think they're doing right. And half of the time, they don't even know that they're doing wrong. Or they're not really doing wrong because they think they're doing right. But if they knew actually everything else,
Actually understood it.
you see it different. But half of the information's not there anyway. You even complain about it or question it, you get shut down, you get ignored, you get abusive behavior. So
no, it's a shame.
I think I'm gonna end the stream. We've been going for 3 hours.
I know we have been going for a while. I was just looked at the clock and was like, oh my lord, we're at 11 o'clock already.
I know we'll have to cut it at a time where it's good because we start now disappearing around 10:30 now. Everybody's getting back to normal. So we probably have to come to a group meeting where we say maybe 10:30, 10:15, probably it'd be an okay cut-off time. Unless it's in the holidays and people want to celebrate. Because I can't see Halloween stream cutting off early, can you?
No, that might go.
So if you get to Christmas, I've got buttons. He's my little support owl.
I've been trying to get a Yule goat. I gotta go back to IKEA. My friend refused me to buy a Yule goat from IKEA because she said that's too expensive. It's £4. You can make your own. I said, yeah, but it's from Sweden. She's like, yeah, but you can make your own, Ellie. So I went online to see if I can buy a Yule goat online, right? They're charging anywhere between £40 and £79 for a Yule goat. I'm not even joking.
Oh my lord.
So I'm going back to IKEA to buy my £4 Yule goat.
That's much better value.
It's probably one of where Alex got hers from, probably from IKEA, probably.
Possibly, yeah.
Our friend Alex, because she's got Yule goats.
I love her. Yule goats and bells, you have to have them on your Christmas tree.
Every year.
Come and get you otherwise. You know, they're your little protection.
Why are we talking about Christmas in October?
As Sainsbury's have had Christmas stuff in for the last 2 months, so I mean,
I know, but
I sent the picture to one of the girls as well. It was just like, look, this is what's happened. I was like, oh no, Christmas is already coming.
Like, no.
Starting on October the 31st. Decorations
After Halloween is acceptable.
Yeah, it's literally the day after.
Yeah, exactly. It's like after Halloween's fine. Before Halloween, at least give Halloween a shot.
The minute Christmas Day is done, that's it, it's gone. Christmas dinner's done. Yeah, Christmas over. It's the preparation that's fun. It's making the gingerbread houses, wrapping the presents, going shopping. That bit's fun. Receiving everything, dealing with the mess afterwards, that's not fun.
No, it isn't much fun.
So I don't mind the preparation. I just don't do the whole. But I'm more of a like your kind of Christmas than a let's do a traditional Christian Christmas. I don't know.
All the pumpkins.
Leah loves Halloween.
Yeah, she does. Anyway, I'm going to say night to everyone in the chat.
No, not everyone. Thank you ever so much for having us.
Bye.
And we'll see you next week. Whose channel's on next week, Ellie?
Christine's.
So Christine's channel next week.
Bye.
We'll see you all then. Have a good night, everyone. Cheers for joining.
Night, everyone. It's lovely to see you.